get nasty on a Thursday. It's the Fast Lane on 101 at ESPN with Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. 202 Your Time Check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. We're drawing closer and closer to the second half, starting in Major League Baseball. Tomorrow night, the Cardinals will open up a series in Atlanta against the Braves. 6:20. It'll be sunny gray starting for the Cardinals. And we'll dive into the Cardinals' second half starting rotation, at least how it lines up the first three games. Share some thoughts there. But I want to ask you guys this. The Cardinals right now in the standings are 4.5 games back of Milwaukee. And as we know, they own the second wild card spot behind Atlanta. And they've got, I think a 3.5 game lead off memory on that. Maybe it's lower.
I think it's lower.
They have a game and a half over Arizona.
Actually, it's just a half game.
Yeah.
Half game over
Game over the Mets.
A full game over Arizona.
Yeah.
Full game over the Padres. All right.
Quite a gap there.
Not much. Yeah. So do you guys have a sense of how urgent the Cardinals will be at the trade deadline?
Well, I know Marshy has thoughts.
I don't think that they are approaching the deadline in the right way. To me, I get the vibe that they are approaching the deadline like they have a 4.5 game lead in the Central. Mm-hmm. And okay, we'll just add a couple pieces, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
No, you're like a series away from not being a wild card team anymore. And they're what, a game and a half above Arizona, so they're a half game above the Mets. I believe a game and a half over Arizona. They're only 4 games ahead of the Cubs.
Yeah.
And they're 3.5 out of a wild card spot. Other than that, the Nationals, Rockies, Marlins, they're all out of it. But every single team is a weekend away from jumping you, essentially. So why are you not having a little bit more urgency from what we've heard?
Yeah, so I was going to ask you that. So it's based off of what Mo has said,
Yes.
which is that we'll kick the tires on a starter. Every team's going to be interested in starting pitching. So we'll see. And then every team's going to be interested in bullpen help, and that we're going to be one of those teams. And at one point, he mentioned maybe getting a right-handed power bat, too. So you're basing off of that. Because nobody, outside of the Brewers, who traded for Aaron Savali a couple of weeks ago, what was it, last week when we were at Centene? I think it was.
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago,
Yeah,
was
I
it?
wasn't there.
Yeah. 2 weeks ago since we had the first clear at camp.
You were there.
No.
At Centene?
You were at Centene.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. My bad.
Yeah, that was the first clear camp. Outside of the Brewers, nobody else has made moves. So you're just kind of anticipating, based on most comments, that they won't do much, and maybe it's because they just, one, like what they have, and two, they maybe feel as though they have the wild card wrapped up.
Yes,
Okay.
I get that vibe. I'm not saying that's what they're thinking. I just get that vibe. Like they feel a little too comfortable.
Now, could it be a little bit of a ruse too? Because as a general manager or Pobo, I don't want to seem, as the kids say these days, thirsty. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't want to seem like
it is Thursday.
Thursday.
We're open for business, and we desperately want starting pitching, maybe another reliever, and desperately would love to add a right-handed bat to our lineup, because we're kind of panicking because the entire division, the entire National League, is all within a chance of making the playoffs. I don't know. Maybe Moses sitting back playing coy here a little bit. Maybe he isn't. Maybe he is. For me, I always think of Doug Armstrong. He does the same thing. Doesn't really advertise what they're looking for. And when he makes the biggest moves, you don't even see them coming.
Yeah.
Think about when he acquired Justin Falk. We're like, whoa, where did that come from? And then the Ryan O'Reilly trade. Everybody thought that was dead in the water. Arby circled back and made the O'Reilly trade. Whenever there's a big move to be made, it's almost like you never even know that it's going to happen. Now, I don't know if that's John Mozeliak's strategy. Carey, I don't know. But if it was me in any business, let's just take any negotiation in a business, the party that seems thirstier for the deal usually gets raked over.
Yeah. But in terms of St. Louis Cardinals, I don't know if we expect John Mozeliak, in my opinion, you might not like how he says it or what he says, but I think he's pretty honest. And he told you there's going to be a pretty big market. There's going to be a lot of people searching for not a lot of talent. Yeah.
Yeah, by seller's market.
Yeah, it's a lot of people. there are going to be a lot of people vying for the same position players, same pitchers, same position players, which means that's going to drive up the price. That's going to mean you have to give up more to get what you want in return. If I offer X and you offer a little bit more than that, probably going to go with you. And so now I can counter and come back with a little bit more, but the Cardinals don't seem to me like they're willing to swim in those waters of, prospects or current players on their roster to get what is required or what is needed to have a better team for the rest of this 24 season.
Mo isn't wrong either. If you look at the available players, this isn't a list where you're like, wow, this is going to be a hectic trade deadline. The White Sox may hang on to Garrett Crochet. It actually might make sense for them to wait another year and then approach teams at the deadline next season after he has another year where he's got, he can up the innings a little bit more. BT had mentioned it yesterday to us. Garrett Crochet is eventually going to come with an innings limit. So the White Sox may hang on to him. If they do, you're looking at Jack Flaherty. I'm looking at just the pitchers first. Eric Fetty, Zach Littell, Zach Eflin, Kikuchi from Toronto. Those are the top names. Are you guys blown away by any of these names?
No, not blown away. I would certainly bring Jack Flaherty back.
I would too, based on how he's performing.
He's on a 1-year deal. He's performing well. This is a money year for him. He has to show that he can pitch if he wants to get beyond that 1-year deal every year. Mm-hmm. And I know there is some baggage that comes along with it, baggage that we're really not sure of here in the media or as fans. We don't know what the temperature was like in that clubhouse, whether it was terrible, whether Jack was a bad teammate, maybe other guys were bad teammates to him. I don't know. But I do know this from being a professional athlete and being a part of several trades and watching guys come into the team, guys that maybe rubbed people the wrong way before. When they're on a 1-year deal and they're looking to make the money, it's amazing how well everybody can play nice together.
Sure.
Not wrong.
Yeah. Jack Flaherty, the last thing he needs is to come back to the Cardinals, and the narrative that was surrounding him before continues. That doesn't help his case. Mm-hmm. And he went away, maybe matured, maybe learned some things. Who knows, right? But for me, he's a great pitcher for what you need right now. He'd probably be your number 2, based on what he's capable of doing. Maybe 3, if you put Gibson at 2, because I don't see Michelson there.
Right. But he'd be it.
That's it.
You go down the rest of the list, chances are you're going to be pretty disappointed by what's available. You're going to have to check your expectations for it. But will he get a starter and a reliever? I think that's where the conversation starts. It's not necessarily who.
If he gets a starter, does he need a reliever? Because here's my thoughts. Because somebody's going to get bumped.
I would still add. I'm looking for a back end reliever. I'm looking for somebody that can pitch in the 7th or 8th. High leverage.
Okay.
Let's say Jack Flaherty is the player. Is that enough to push this team to to push them to a playoff, a team that has a chance to win in the playoffs?
I think that
pitcher, is he solely him enough? You make a trade.
Yeah. Could they win the division?
Yes.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yes, I would still add an bullpen arm. But if they don't,
well, Jamie said if you do that, you just bump one of those guys out of the starting rotation.
Yeah, but he wants a high leverage.
I want a high leverage guy, though.
It's a different type of reliever.
Yeah, I'm not looking for you were talking about adding a middle reliever. That could be your guy.
Okay,
Palante could bump
right.
Or Lansley, probably Palante.
I'm looking for somebody that in the 7th inning can come in and get key outs for you because you got a lead or you're trying to stay within a run or two.
It's got to be a guy with some swing and miss.
Yes.
He can't be the pitch to contact type dude.
No. A lot of their guys are kind of pitch to contact and they're doing a good job, but I agree with you. Add somebody that can miss some bats.
You've got to have some swing and miss.
A good Jack Flaherty can go a long way. We've seen it happen before. We know what he looks like when he is at the top of his game. Maybe he needed to go somewhere else to figure something out. And then maybe you bring him back and you could get a really close version of a 2019 Jack Flaherty.
Yep.
Well, that would be a dream come true.
That would definitely
I would even take a moderate version of that. Would be fantastic. I'd take Jack Flaherty for what he's doing right now currently.
Yeah,
I agree.
That's fine with me.
Yeah, he's been excellent this season for the Tigers. And really it was mostly about health and whether or not he was going to stay healthy. Last year he was fine, but he wasn't what he is right now in Detroit. So if this version of Jack Flaherty comes in, That would be huge, but you're going to have other teams that are going to be bidding pretty high for him.
Are you absolutely sold on the Cardinals getting a starter? I don't even care what number starter it is.
Yeah.
What if they don't?
If they don't, then
what does that
to me
say?
that's problematic. And if you're asking me what it says about their line of thinking, then I think their line of thinking is, oh, we'll be fine. Miles will eventually iron out his issues. Lance Lynn is fine for what he is right now. He's kind of up and down, but whatever. He's a fourth starter. I think they're banking on Miles Michaelis being more consistent in the second half. Now, what evidence do they have that suggests that he's going to be that guy? I don't know. For me, I think it's going to be problematic if you don't add a starter.
And to your point, that's why I get the vibe of they feel comfortable right now. And the reason I say that is because he brought up John Mozeliak, Andre Pallante. Mm-hmm. Andre Pallante's fine. You're not going to win a World Series with Andre Pallante in your rotation.
Probably not. No. Not right now.
That's why. Yeah.
Well, you wouldn't even be using him anyways. You wouldn't be using him in the playoffs as far as a starter.
Who would you use then? Lance Lynn?
Yeah, probably.
Based on those 5 guys, probably.
Yeah, I think Pallante would get bumped to that mid-relief or that piggyback guy in case of a bad game for one of the other guys.
Yeah, and you wouldn't need Lynn until you eventually got to a 7-game series.
So that's why I'm not worried about that too much.
Is that true, though? Or would he be the game 2 starter of the following series? Or potentially game 1 starter?
I don't know because of the schedules and all that. I have no idea.
Anthony Carey's biting his tongue so deeply, there's 7 stitches that are going to be required. Go ahead, Carey, your thoughts.
I'm going to bite my tongue off.
Yeah.
Like, when we're talking, like, does this thrill you? Like, do you get excited
Carey, I
about
like
that?
being here. I love my job.
No. I love you all.
Yeah.
Like, I love this.
I don't know
people
what your
in this
problem
room.
is.
I love you guys. I love our listeners. I love the people that text in and chime in in the snake pit. Like, this is a fantastic place to be. But when you're talking about the St. Louis Cardinals, Lance Lynn and Miles Michaelis and maybe Jack Flaherty has had two back injections. Like, he's a guy that backs don't get better, Jamie. No, we didn't.
There we go. See, Cardinals watch the budget.
Your back doesn't get better. You've had a back injury.
I've had every injury.
I have as well. Back is one of the worst because you don't know when it's going to stop. You don't know where it came from. You don't know when it's going to start again.
It just goes, guess what? You're going to drop to a knee.
It grabs a hold of you. You're like, oh my God.
It's like the voodoo doll,
Yes. This is not thrilling. This is not exciting.
Yeah. No,
This
you're right.
is nothing that I'm like, yeah. Oh, I believe it. Go put those guys against the Phillies. Wait, hold on. No, let's not slow it down there a little bit, buddy. Like, Jack Flaherty, obviously, great guy. But if he's injured and he missed the start, he missed 2 weeks, they didn't put him on the IL because of a back injury because they had to inject something into his back to prevent him from being in pain. Mm-hmm. You ever had an injection? I have. Plenty. Oh, it feels glorious when you get that injection.
It feels great when they inject it right into the bone. No, it doesn't.
When it wears off?
Yeah, no, that's fun. About 3 a.m.
A little tight.
Then you're crushing Advil like Skittles.
Yeah. So, this is, if you're going to make a push, to make a play, to make a run, being satisfied with where you are in the wild card, I think that's fool's gold. I think that to me is a little bit scary. Mm-hmm. You need to be chasing down Milwaukee. You need to be doing things that allow you to be a better team, both in the starting rotation and in the lineup.
Yeah.
If, we've been saying that all season, if Goldie and Arenado get some things right here after the All-Star break, the lineup should be fine.
Yeah.
If not, then good luck. With 8 other teams chasing you, or 7 other teams chasing you in the wild card, because they are chasing you. So that's just my
Jamie, should I tell him or you?
You go ahead.
Carey, you're not wrong. It's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Jamie got really ticked off at somebody in the media.
Oh.
He'll tell you who he is next on 101 ESPN. Immediately after I teased that last segment, or this upcoming segment here, we had a bunch of people text into the Air Comfort Service text line at 314-399-9646. It said, must be Dom. Must be Dom. Dom Luszczyszyn of The Athletic put together another one of those think pieces that Jamie Rivers absolutely loves.
It's not a think piece. There's no thought that's been put into this.
And there's always a player that, I shouldn't say always, there's a player that often comes up that is criticized by guys like Dom Luszczyszyn, and it's Colton Parayko. So Dom's latest masterpiece was on the NHL's 10 worst contracts.
Oh, God.
And among the 10 worst contracts was our guy, Colton Parayko. In fact, he came in at 4th. So Dom writes, contract $6.5 million times 6. The model value, according to Dom, is $2.5 million times 6 years. He goes, here's the thing with Colton Parayko. He's still very good defensively in a shutdown role, and that holds a lot of value. He makes key stops for the Blues and eats tough minutes, both things that the model holds in high regard, which gives him a strong defensive rating. What Parayko doesn't have going for him is something that many underrate when it comes to matchup defensemen, the other dimension. Shutdown guys don't need to be a Bobby Orr, but they do need to not be one-dimensional, especially at $6.5 million, especially at a $6.5 million ticket. For guys playing in a shutdown role, the ability to make sure offense flows the other way is crucial to getting the most out of locking things down defensively. Parayko's profile is essentially a reverse Vladimir Tarasenko. There's a lot of value in what Parayko brings, and there's something to be said about not being in the best environment to succeed with the Blues, too. But what Parayko lacks is what separates him from their the true top pair defenseman that you see on playoff winning teams, and what puts him well under his current cap. And goes on and on talking about the actual dollar amount he maybe should receive. Jamie, your thoughts?
It's unbelievable that people who don't watch the game of hockey, or they do, but they don't know what they're watching, and they plug in certain numbers, and they get this equation, and it's like, no, that's not a good contract. Really? So if what Dom is, let's just trying to contain myself here. If what Dom is saying is true, at the value, the contract value is at a $2.5 million. That's what the numbers tell you. I would just ask you guys this. Do you feel like Colton Parayko, or do you feel like Marco Scandella is a better defenseman than Colton Parayko?
No.
Because Marco Scandella made over $3 million last year.
Yeah.
Well, someone said, well, his value he wasn't worth the contract. Go across the NHL right now. Find a $3 million defenseman on almost any team, and I guarantee you Colton Parayko eclipses that player. Mm-hmm. The equation really lends nothing to the defensive side of the game. He talks about a couple of little things that he's got there from the defensive side, but Dom is missing the boat here. One, I've told you this before. I've spoken to several high-end NHL players, specifically the best in the world, Connor McDavid, talking to him about Colton Parayko. He hates playing against Colton Parayko. Mm-hmm. He said Colton Parayko is one of the only defensemen in the NHL where when I'm coming up the ice, I don't feel like my speed can beat him. He can skate. He's got range. He closes plays out. He goes, he suffocates you as a puck handler. You run out of area to go. And then you can't just get away from him because he's right there. Mm-hmm. That's the best player in the world, telling you that you have one of the best defensive defensemen in the NHL because he doesn't like to play against him. That's all I need to know. But if we want to dive into some other things, Anthony.
Yeah, because he does highlight that Parayko is a good defensive player. Maybe he minimizes.
He minimizes. That's the problem.
That's fine.
The equation minimizes how dominant a defenseman can be defensively.
Sure.
As far as some other things here, these are things that you don't find on your everyday websites. We've got denied zone entries. So percentage of denied zone entry. And all that means is where the other team has the puck crossing the blue line with no resistance. They gain the zone easy with no resistance at all. And it's denied or disrupted zone entry. Colton Parayko ranks over 90% in that, which means almost every time someone comes across the blue line, they're denied or disrupted with their zone entry.
It's pretty high.
That's one of the best in the NHL, by the way. He also has diverted zone entries. Now, what that means is when you can clearly tell that the offensive team has the puck on one side of the ice and they purposely go to the other side of the ice because the other side of the ice is easier to gain access to the zone. Mm-hmm. This one here, Colton Parayko, 78% of the time, teams change puck side or skate the puck to the other side of the ice to get away from him. That's all I need to know. And now if you want to talk offensive stats.
Yeah, because that's the thing.
Yeah, but listen, goals, assists, I don't care. Coming from Colton Parayko, if he can get around 8 to 10 goals, somewhere around the 25-point mark, you're fine. And he had 26 points, I believe, last year. Yeah, 10 goals, 16 assists. It's fine. What I care about is, can he get the puck to my guys who can score? The answer is yes. Colton Parayko is one of the best players in the NHL at puck recovery. So anytime a puck was dumped into the zone or there's a loose puck, Colton Parayko, I've called him the one-man breakout for 3 years now. He is one of the best at the NHL of retrieving that puck and making a clean play up the ice to change the momentum of the game. He's also one of the best players at zone exits. All that means is he's got the puck inside the defensive zone, or he either skates it out across the blue line, or he makes a really solid tape-to-tape pass to exit the zone clean. Mm-hmm. He's one of the best in the NHL at that. The only thing he's not one of the best in the NHL at is scoring goals and getting assists. But I don't care. I don't care. Because I've got him out there against Nathan McKinnon, Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, Austin Matthews. You pick your horse. Parayko's out there against that guy. So the value that he brings to this team is he's one of the top 5 defensive defensemen in all the NHL, bar none. And then to even suggest that the contract is not good is insanity. Look at some of the guys around. First of all, just look within your own organization for a second. There are guys that are making the same amount of money as Colton Parayko, contributing less. They're not on this list. That blows my mind. Let's keep that in-house, right? Mm-hmm. Now let's expand that. Seth Jones is terrible. Awful. He's making $9.5 million for like the next 7 years. Yet he's 8th on the list and Parayko's 4th? $6.5 million this year? This is the first time the cap's gone up in, a handful of years? 6.5 this year is next to nothing. Guess what it'll be in 2 years? Even less as far as a percentage of your salary cap. You're getting steal. And Colton Parayko, the way he skates and moves out there, he's not going to have that drop-off. He's not a big physical defenseman. Just think of Chris Pronger away from the nastiness. Chris Pronger, all he had to do is take 2 strides at any point in the defensive zone, and he was in your face. Mm-hmm. Stick on puck, body on body, denying you a shot. Colton Parayko skates better than Chris Pronger did. So 1 stride, 2 strides away from always being a disruptive defensive presence at $6.5 million. I'm sorry, Dom. I'm putting this in the other category, top 10 best contracts. Because you'd be paying out the nose if you're another team. Like some of these other teams might pay 8. If he went on the open market tomorrow, Colton Parayko, unrestricted, he'd be making $8.5 million a year.
The defense rests its case. It's a fast lane on 101 at ESPN. Do you feel better? Or are you
I'm still angry. The more I talk about it, I get more heated because the guy took a beating last year because he had an off year. He had some injuries. And I was like, whatever. Then he comes back and has a stellar season for the Blues. And they're still disrespected by this formula. I think it's time to change the formula.
Well said. What's trending is next in Fastlane on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. We are one day away from the Cardinals getting back in action. They'll take on the Atlanta Braves this weekend. Sonny Gray will be on the mound for the Redbirds tomorrow. First pitch is at 6:20. If you've missed anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. Just head to the podcast page. You'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. We have What's Trending coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
Now, brought to you by Goodwill. Donate a car and get tickets to the St. Louis Cardinals.
All the qualities of not just like as a hockey player, but as a person, have all been brought up as a St. Louis person, I guess. Qualities of a Midwest kid has really been established in me since a very young age. I was born in Arizona, but I grew up in St. Louis. So all my roots and everything has all been brought up from St. Louis, and it's such a special place, and I'll always come back here. Yeah, it's amazing. To me, it's all about their smile. They go through stuff that I could never, even imagine, and their spirits and just their reaction, their smile is what it's all about, and it's just absolutely priceless. And this trophy here is a very magical thing, and that does it to people. So to me, that's the most important thing.
That's Matthew Tkachuk, audio courtesy of Channel 5 KSDK. Matthew Tkachuk celebrating his day with the cup. Anthony Stalter, Jamie Rivers, Carey Davis. I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for What's Trending. And Matthew Tkachuk, he brought the cup today to St. Louis Children's Hospital. So really cool moment for not only the kids, but or not for him, but for the kids as well. Matthew Tkachuk, he's a Stanley Cup champion now. But just how cool is that to share your accomplishments with other people around town?
First of all, I'm not surprised in the least. Keith and Chantal Tkachuk have done an incredible job of raising their three children. Honestly, they're three of even from when they were just little kids, all three, Taryn included, the daughter, the best kids. Behaved, worked hard, yes sir, no sir, can I help you with something? Yeah. And then as they've gotten older, Keith has also instilled the values of how important the people are around you. And that's why Matthew, he's always touted as the guy that is great with the trainers, the PR guy, the ticket lady, like the security guard. Everybody knows who Matthew Tkachuk is. He knows their names, and Brady's the same way, and Walt was that way too. Walt used to tip people at different arenas that didn't have the money, they're working hard or whatever, needed a new jacket, he'd buy them a jacket. It's crazy the stuff that he did. And now that has been passed on to all three of their children, and now Matthew has the opportunity to come back to St. Louis, like he said. He wasn't born here, but he was raised here, and give back. And so he goes to the Children's Hospital. I made a visit there. He went to a couple of restaurants around town. He took it to Chaminade to take some pictures over at Chaminade. Cool. This is not a kid that forgets his roots, and it's not a kid that forgets about people in general.
That's great.
So he's got the cup here, I think, through the end of the night and whatnot. It's going to be a great time.
As somebody that spent 2 straight weeks at either me or my wife Kristen for our son Killian, when he was first born, he had a major surgery and then had a blood infection, so he wound up at St. Louis Children's Hospital. You walk through the hallways at St. Louis Children's Hospital and you realize how many families are impacted that are there for long time.
Yeah.
Cancer, kids with cancer, kids with illnesses that they don't know if they're going to see outside again. And for Matthew Tkachuk to take just a little bit of his time to take that cup through those hallways gives me chills, man. Yeah. That you're thinking beyond yourself.
Yeah. That to me is really special. Like you said, there are so many kids that are dealing with ailments and things that they don't know what the future may hold, but to have a Stanley Cup champion, a guy from here, born and raised here, to come by and show them something that they otherwise would not be able to see, touch, take pictures with, be around, I think that's extremely special. And I know
helps them forget for a second.
Not just the kids, what that means to the parents, because the parents are going through it, you know, sitting there, like you said, with their child, having the same type of stress levels, wondering when you have a child that you can't help, that's probably one of the worst fears in the world. So I know for the parents also, to get their mind off of it for an hour, 2 hours, whatever it is, was a special moment for them as well.
That's awesome.
Guys, this show, I think it's been established, we are big fans of the WNBA.
No doubt.
Yeah, big night last night for everybody.
Too big for some.
Too big for some.
What happened, Anthony?
22.5 was the number.
24 is the do factor.
24 was the point total.
The team needed her.
Did they win?
Yep.
Did you have the under?
Yep.
I had the under 22 and a
I
half.
thought it was the over.
No. She finished with 24.
Well, she finished with Caitlin Clark, that is. For me, had 6 rebounds. I had her at 6.5.
Oh, no.
Caitlin Clark did have 24 points and set a new WNBA record with 19 assists last night. Now, she is not on the Olympic team. She's not on the Olympic team.
Yeah, not good enough.
Well, Anthony, I'm about to say something
that tongue
here.
in cheek.
Let's look at the other guards for the Olympic team. We have Kelsey Plum, Jewel Lloyd, Diana Taurasi, and Chelsea Gray. And then you have Caitlin Clark that I'm about to compare stats to. There are only 3 stats out of the major statistics in basketball that these players are better than her at. And Kelsey Plum, her field goal percentage, 410 to Caitlin Clark's 405. Jewel Lloyd, points per game, 20.1 to Caitlin Clark's 17.1. And then Diana Taurasi's 3-point percentage, 363 to Caitlin Clark's 327. Caitlin Clark, has more 20-plus point games than all of the rookies combined. Why is she not on the Olympic team?
Yeah, she'd have to, never mind the rookies, she'd have to outplay some of the veteran girls that are there. So the rookies are one thing, it's fine, but when you bring up like some of those other players,
her stats are better.
They're close. They're not better. They're close.
This season. And those players have been in the league for how long? Diana Taurasi been in the league for almost 20 years, it feels like.
Yeah. And
like she's 15 for sure.
And it's not that Caitlin Clark is being snubbed on this one, but they picked the team a couple weeks ago, too.
It's true.
And Caitlin Clark, a couple weeks ago, wasn't playing at the level she's playing right now. So maybe it's the chip on the shoulder thing. But I did see a stat that was kind of surprising to me, is I believe Caitlin Clark leads the entire WNBA in offense provided. And what that means is with points plus the assists, like creating offense, she leads all of the WNBA. She's the number 1 player. That, to me, alone says she should probably be in consideration. But again, it's been the last couple of weeks that she's really taken fire here.
I mean, we don't know what goes into the selection committee. And like these guys are saying, perhaps you give a nod to like these veterans that have been pouring in their time year after year. Either way, I don't think she's going to miss many of these opportunities in the future with the way that she's playing.
Yeah, probably not.
So good for her. All right, it's the Fastlane on 101 ESPN. This is kind of a loaded statement. What is wrong with today's game of baseball? Felt like I needed to say it that way.
Good job.
Get off my lawn. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. It's a Fast Lane on 101 at ESPN. Joe Madden was on the podcast Foul Territory and discussed many things, including what's wrong with the current sport of baseball, current day and age of baseball. Here's what Joe had to say.
You don't have to be a cookie cutter and follow everybody else. I believe everybody wants to be like everybody else in today's world, in today's game. I really believe in the individuality of the group. I think part of the problem is that the game's not being passed down from generation to generation right now by actually former players or former coaches, guys that have been there, done that, guys that are proven great instructors, teachers. A lot of the coaches these days are coming from places, Driveline and things of that nature. These are today's gurus. I'm here to tell you, man, if I'm starting a group tomorrow, definitely got Larry Bow in that group. Absolutely. I don't care how old Larry Bow is. We need people to pass the game down, to have it played properly. Guys have to be told when they're screwing up, doing things wrong. I think you could watch a lot of games today, and I keep getting queried about, did you see how sloppy the play was? Now, listen, you could have sloppy play with the best instructors in the world. I'm not arguing that. But the game has devolved into the point where everybody's after their own brand and a show me kind of a thing, as opposed to playing this team concept that's individualized by the Dodgers or the Cardinals or the Pirates of the past, which I loved. And I thought the Angels in the 90s and early 2000s, we had an identity. I thought the Rays, when we got to the Rays, we established an identity. Those are the kind of things that's never talked about anymore. It's all based on analytical data and a sameness. Everybody wants a sameness when it comes down to draft. And furthermore, there are no minor leagues anymore. That's been so watered down. I'm here to tell you, man, under these circumstances, I'd never get an opportunity to eventually do what I did, because I would have never been placed in a minor league system for the period of time to get the kind of experience I needed to establish becoming a coach, manager, et cetera.
I respect Joe Madden immensely. I think the guy has forgotten more about baseball than most will know. I love Joe Madden. And I think what he said, I don't know about in terms of like what he was talking about with the individual players, and he's talking about, that's a little bit show me. I don't know anything about that, really. You can have your opinions on that. But what he said about the game being homogenized now, all the teams trying to copy each other, nobody doing anything different, everybody being run by the front office, I thought he absolutely nailed. I have often brought it up, in fact, where other sports, you've had at least one or two teams that say, okay, everybody's now going this way. What if we go this way? But
what is the other way right now?
To me,
like honestly, without being the get off my lawn, without being
tell you right now.
Let's go back to what is the other way?
Well, let's start here. What's everybody doing? What's the game become?
Oh, it's becoming very analytical.
Right, but I mean, it's even more specifically.
Swing, hit it hard or strike out. Nobody cares.
The three true outcomes, home runs. You hit home runs. You don't care about the strikeouts. You don't really care about the outs. It's just put the ball out of the yard, right? Mm-hmm. For pitchers, throw as hard as you can. Miss bats. Doesn't matter if you get into the fifth inning, right? That's kind of, if we're going to simplify everything. Yeah. What I would do is recapture what Whitey Herzog did. I would build on speed instead of power. I would build on pitchers that, and the Cardinals tried this and it didn't work, but that doesn't mean it won't work. But try to do something with the pitching staff where you got guys that can go deeper into the game because they've got an array of 5 different pitches and they're not worried about throwing it as hard as they can. Get pitchers. Don't be as specialized. The game of baseball has become completely specialized. I'm going to save this guy for that guy, lefty versus righty, and actually play the game. Yeah. Don't worry necessarily about putting the ball out of the yard. If you got guys that can hit, great, but you're going to run into some home runs too. Maybe go the speed element. Maybe have a suffocating defense. Honestly, Jamie, I don't really care. But do something that's out of the box. But that is going to take somebody with massive huevos rancheros. Do you know why? Because if you're doing something that nobody else is doing and it doesn't work, you look like a fool.
And you get fired.
Yeah. But I'd rather get fired doing something different than chasing what other people have already done and, quite frankly, have done it better than I can.
So I like what you're saying.
But
there's just one major problem to it.
What do you got?
Is Major League Baseball, that's the highest league, right? Mm-hmm. Once the players get to you, they're already what they are.
Mm-hmm.
So the root of the problem is high school, college, little league. Like, the root of the problem is all of that right there. AAA, even AA, A-ball. The root of the problem is that the three true outcomes are what players see now as the big money. They're agents, they're this, they're that. So the Cardinals, even if you want to build your whitey ball team here, okay, you're going to have to go so obscure with the players that you find and really hope it works. Like, you'll be looking for the Brendan Donovans of the world, who, by the way, nobody knew anything about until he was here. So for me, that's the biggest problem, is you'd have to try and change it from the top all the way down, and that's just not happening.
You're not wrong.
Uh-oh.
But think about what every team is looking for right now. Every team is looking for somebody that can throw 95 plus. They may not know where the hell the ball's going. Don't care, throws 95. We're going to try to get Mongo out of high school or Mongo out of college because he can hit home runs. Alec Burleson, Ben Hochman wrote a really good piece for STLtoday.com about Alec Burleson. And there was a scout, I think it was his high school coach had a scout come in. And the scout's like, what do you got for me? He's like, Alec Burleson. He's like, which one to see? He looks over, and the scout was like, you mean the Babe Ruth looking guy? And he didn't mean that as a compliment. Yeah, that guy. And then he gets to college, and it's like, yeah, this guy doesn't look like much. Puts the ball in play. He's just a baseball player. Alec Burleson falls. And I know that's one example. I know it's anecdotal. But my overall point is, you're right. All these teams are looking for the high school guys who now are just trying to hit the ball out of the yard. There's still plenty of players out there.
But that's a bigger risk. And
I know.
To your point about everybody's looking for this, if everybody's looking for that as a young player with parents and advisors and whatever you want to call it, your own personal coach, why would the players zag? The players, like, no, if I'm a kid and I'm crushing some home runs in high school and I got some power to me, well, everybody's looking for the power. Especially if I'm a left bat. I've got power.
Sure.
I'm not changing.
But there's got it. But what I'm saying is, not everybody has power.
No, but all the kids think they're the next Gorman. They think they're the next Goldschmidt. Like, whatever it is. God
forbid a scout.
I know.
Does his job.
He's gonna have to get out early, like early, to change the narrative right now. The narrative isn't even a narrative. It's a thought process. All of baseball has been polluted by this.
Right. So what do you do?
You imagine the work it would take to try and find these certain players?
But okay, but at some point you have to think outside of the box. It's kind of like the NFL. Like, eventually, who's the first to the table, right? You got Martz and the Rams. Hey, what if we spread everybody out and we start throwing to the running back? And then over time, what happens? Offenses catch on, or teams copy each other. You got spread offenses attacking the NFL. Defenses finally go, we got guys that are too big.
Anthony.
It's not different at all.
It's totally different, because team games are, you can change the systems, the philosophies. Baseball is an individual sport.
Baseball has changed, and we can agree. Can't we agree that baseball has changed dramatically from what it was? Isn't that what everybody's bitching about?
I agree.
Okay, so if it's changed once, it certainly can change again.
But to back channel and try to change that. Now, problem is, players have been paid handsomely. Like the Kyle Schwarbers of the world. I mean, they'll never, like, that family all the way down will never have to work again. And that guy's a strikeout machine with power.
Right.
So, like, if I'm a young player coming up and I got some power, or even if I don't have power, I'm working to get the power, because I'd like to play in a world where it doesn't matter if I strike out as long as I hit the ball hard.
Sure.
And if I'm a pitcher, doesn't matter what kind of control I have if I can overpower the hitter.
I know. It's not going to be easy. But I don't think there's just strikeout and power out there.
I agree.
I think you have to hunt it down.
And I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. I'm just saying the idea of it is great. Now, the actual changing of it, I just don't know.
Well, if Major League Baseball wants to hire me, I'm available. I've got a price.
I think Jamie is correct in what he's saying. Trying to get that once people start making the amount of money that they're making, like Luis Ariz is probably never, and I mean
he's a
never,
unicorn.
but he's never going to make what Aaron Judge is going to make, is he?
No.
Because why? Because Aaron Judge hits home runs.
He puts the ball in the other yard.
And Luis Ariz is going to hit a lot of hits, but he's not going to hit a lot of home runs. So when you're talking about the difference between 30, 40, 50 million dollars, I think people are going to lean toward, but you're also saying that as a scout and you're developing, you got to find players that can do all of those things. You should have a player that is a Nolan Gorman, a Kyle Schwarber. He's either going to hit it far away or he's not going to hit it at all. Mm-hmm. But then you should also have guys that are like Luis Ariz. Then you should have guys that are Aaron Judge, who does hit for power and can hit for average. Like, you need to have all of that, and that does require people doing their job. And one thing I've learned from being a high school coach and watching college coaches scout and try to get they don't change. They are so afraid to step outside of that box, because I can take a flyer on a 6'5", 280-pound guy, and he might be terrible. Mm-hmm. But I cannot take a flyer on a 6'1", 260-pound guy, and they play the same position, because I'm going to lose my job.
Right. If
the 6'1" guy, speaking of like a defensive end, if he's not as good as the 6'5" guy.
Yeah.
Like, I can miss on the height, the size, all of the attributes. I can't miss on that player that does not hit all those boxes. Mm-hmm. That's when they lose their jobs. So to keep my job, I'm going to go after the guy that everybody else is going after.
Of course.
Because it's easier. It's easier for me to go for him than it is to go outside of the box and get a guy that I think is more talented, but he might not have the success.
Yeah, they're trying to win They're trying to win the press conference.
No question.
Yes.
Not trying to win championships.
Exactly. So I agree with what you guys are saying. My point still stands. Is there going to be a creative team? A team with balls, not baseballs, but the other ones.
Those are good.
And creativeness that says, we're going to do something different.
It's scary and it's hard.
I know.
Well, I think honestly, if we're going to be perfectly honest about that, I think the Cardinals are doing a really good job of that.
I agree.
Donovan, Mason Wynn, Alec Burleson. Like, you've got some guys that they're just hitting the ball.
The guy they just took in the first round.
Michael Ciani, fast. He's swiping bases.
Right.
Like, the Cardinals are playing a version of what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because they're not, with Goldie and Arenado not able to hit the home runs this year, then you really are a team that's like putting the ball in play, get it out into the yard.
I think they're doing that with the lineup. I don't think they're doing it with the pitching staff, because they haven't. It's just.
Well, the Cardinals don't really have that gas thrower though.
They don't have one.
Anybody.
They should have. They should have one. You should have a guy that can strike people out. Yeah. At least one that can get a guy out.
Sonny Gray.
His strikeout rate's pretty good.
Yeah, it's over 10.
Would you rather have him or a Garrett Crochet or a Jack Flaherty in terms of strikeouts?
Well, I'd rather have Sonny Gray than Jack Flaherty.
Yeah, because he's going to get hurt.
No, you're just being honest. And the Garrett Crochet, that's a whole different animal, because there's team control, cost control.
I don't care about money.
I'd take Crochet over Sonny Gray.
There you go.
Yeah, I would say.
You want guys that are.
I mean, you got to factor in.
I miss that type of baseball. I don't know.
It'd be nice to have a Max Scherzer. I don't mean now, but those are the guys that you need.
Max also was the epitome of 5 and dive when he was with the Diamondbacks. He threw a very heavy fastball, and he could only throw it X amount of times. He's going to be out in the 5th inning. But he eventually developed into a pitcher. When he got to Detroit, he developed into a pitcher.
Yeah.
So
and Verlander,
Verlander's been a stud.
He's been an anomaly.
Yeah. You talk about unicorn. That dude has been the unicorn of pitching over the last 20 or so years, 15 or so years. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Will the young QBs in the NFC catch up with their counterparts in the AFC this upcoming season? We'll dive into that next on 101 ESPN. 2:07, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. I was thinking about this today, about the NFC. So the AFC, they have been nailing their draft picks when it comes to quarterbacks. If you go back over the last 5, 6, 7 years, of course, you got Patrick Mahomes, you've got Lamar Jackson, you've got Josh Allen, you've got CJ Stroud. I know Trevor Lawrence. There's been some mixed. Justin Herbert, great example. I know there's been some Joe Burrow. Exactly. My point. I know some people have been kind of mixed reviews on Trevor Lawrence, but look, Trevor Lawrence is still a franchise quarterback. He just got paid. Yeah. So the AFC has been set up very well. The NFC, you go to that conference, and it's kind of been like, oh, please just hold on a little bit longer. Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, when he went to Tampa. Now you got Dak Prescott and Jared Goff.
Stafford.
It's Matthew Stafford. Yeah, it was for the Lions to the Rams, and he won a Super Bowl. But the point is, like, the NFC has not been the conference that has nailed their top-end draft picks from a quarterback standpoint. Carson Wentz in Philly, I thought for sure he was going to be, one of these young guys that comes in. Well, he was out after a short period of time. Jalen Hurts was a second-round pick that made it. Russell Wilson, great for a little while in Seattle, and then, of course, now he's in the AFC. Other than that, it's been these retreads. Baker Mayfield, Derek Carr.
A lot of veteran quarterbacks that just keep cycling through the NFC.
Right. But has that narrative changed now, in your guys' opinion? Jaden Daniels in Washington. Caleb Williams. Hey, I got that right. Caleb Williams in Chicago. You've got, who else am I missing here? I mean, Brock Purdy.
Jordan Love.
J.J. McCarthy. Michael Penix will never see the light of day as long as Kirk Cousins has anything to say about that.
Play this year.
Here's my issue with the NFC, though, right now, Anthony.
Quarterbacks.
You named a whole bunch of quarterbacks that have yet to take a snap in the NFL.
So that's my point. Do you guys think that maybe that pendulum can swing a little bit to the NFC? Because it has been heavy.
Who do you believe in, though, from those guys? Who do you truly believe in? Do you believe in Caleb Williams? Do you think he's the man? Do you think J.J. McCarthy is the man?
Maybe not.
I don't know.
Jaden Daniels,
J.J. McCarthy.
I really like Jaden Daniels.
I do like Jaden Daniels as well.
I think Jaden Daniels could win Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Okay.
I think he's set up to have a really good group of players around him. I love Terry McLaurin. I think he's one of the 5 receivers, I believe I read. He's had over 1,000 yards the last 4 seasons, and he's had like 15 different quarterbacks. Like he finds Scary Terry. He's a really good receiver. So having him, and they added Austin Eckler to the team, who did a really good job with the Chargers the last couple of years. Maybe not so much last year, but the years before. I think that Jaden Daniels is a quarterback that can be really good. I didn't think that Washington was going to take him, but I think he's going to be really good. Caleb Love. Okay, I did what you did. Thank you. So Williams. Caleb Williams, I think, is also set up. You add Keenan Allen. You got what is the receiver? What's the from Carolina? Rome Odunze, but the receiver from Carolina. DJ Moore. And so I think they are
Cole Kmet
at
decent
tight end.
offensive line.
Finally, I hope they can find a way to get Cole Kmet the ball. They didn't do it last year enough. But I think he also is set up to be really good. Jordan Love is also going to be really good in his second season as a starting quarterback. Bryce Young, the jury is still out on him and what he's capable of. I don't know. But I think Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, I'm going to do it again, and Jordan Love will be really good this year. And those are 3 young quarterbacks. And I think Michael Penix, when he gets his opportunity, I don't know if it's this year, probably not. But if there's an injury or if there's poor play and Michael Penix gets an opportunity to play, I don't think Kirk Cousins will get that opportunity again.
I love Michael Penix. This is why I'm so unfair to Kirky Cousins. I love Michael Penix Jr. I think he was pro ready. The game that he had against Texas, where he was putting the ball over the place on a dime,
dropping that in the
they were NFL throws, and everybody like, well, he's injury prone. Nobody did in college football, including Jaden Daniels, what Michael Penix did over the last 2 years.
Yeah,
he had injury problems dating back to Indiana, which was like 3 years ago.
Tore an ACL a couple of times.
But with Kirk Cousins holding the front office, another front office at gunpoint, there's nothing you can do.
Here's what you also need to. Most people might not know about.
I said I was being unfair
about Michael Penix. When he was at Indiana before he tore his ACL, that team was on the track to win the Big Ten, and they were exciting at Indiana.
I know.
Before he tore his ACL, like they were so this young man has been good everywhere he's gone. He's gotten bit with the injury bug. Normally, you tear a couple of ACLs, you're probably done. You reached your max. You don't have to tear another one. I think he'll be okay, and he's going to be when he does get that opportunity. Atlanta's going to be a team to watch.
My concern is the teams that they play for.
It's a good point.
Notoriously bad.
Yeah.
Now, you could say the same thing for the Bengals. They hadn't won a playoff game since I've been born, and Joe Burrow stepped right in after being injured the year before and took him to the Super Bowl with a terrible offensive line. But I don't know if any of these quarterbacks are Joe Burrow, right? Maybe they could be.
The Bengals didn't even have an indoor facility. They didn't. I think they have one now. That's how bad the organization was.
There you go.
Organization's cheap. That's one of the that's one of the cheapest organizations in the NFL.
Chicago.
Yeah.
Do you really have faith in that team? I don't care who's on their damn
That's
team.
why I stopped when it's like, do you believe in Caleb Williams? Yes.
The Panthers.
No, the Panthers are done. They're dead. They're dead man walking. Like, that roster isn't good.
Jaden Daniels with the Washington
Commanders.
Well, they changed ownership.
That is fair. I'll give them a few years.
Brought in Dan Quinn, and I've got some feelings on Dan Quinn. But look, the bottom line is he did a remarkable job in Dallas as their coordinator, and he did get the Falcons to the Super Bowl.
I'm just looking at
more Kyle Shanahan.
The guys in the AFC and what they have proved so far. I can't get behind the NFC being even close to the amount of quarterbacks that ultimately get me going.
I think that's
not even close for me.
I think that's the question. Do they even get close? Because we know, I mean, the other side is so loaded. You got Super Bowl winners. You got teams that, players that you got multiple MVPs like Lamar Jackson.
And now you have C.J. Stroud now too.
Right.
Now maybe one of these guys.
But we didn't think C.J. Stroud. We didn't think C.J. Stroud was going to. I thought the Texans were going to be better. I mean, Marsh can vouch, and we had that conversation too. I said, look, the team that nobody's really talking about is the Texans. I thought they're going to win 6 games. I didn't think they were going to win.
I laughed you out of the building.
You did, yeah, and it hurt.
And I feel bad about it.
I wrote in my diary. Marsh made fun of me today, laughed right at my face.
Anthony, I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's all right. All's forgiven, Marsh. But do they have the coordinators?
Now you feel that way.
do they have the head coaches? Do they have the coordinators? That's really the question. I don't think the Bears do. Washington.
The Bears are. I think the Bears are going to be fine. I honestly think they're going to be fine.
Well, they'll be fine in third place.
Their roster.
Minnesota will be last,
good.
so you're probably right. That was a shock. I'm sorry, Marshy. That was uncalled for.
Hey, I said they'd be in third place.
It was uncalled for.
Who would be in fourth?
Minnesota.
You think they're a last place team?
Minnesota?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Marshy. That was low.
I mean,
hurt people hurt people.
That was heavy-handed.
Hurt people hurt people.
And
you talked about my opinion. Well,
I'm still going to root for them. But on paper, they should be the fourth place team in the North.
They would project that way.
Now, when Sam Darnold,
dropping bombs on everybody,
just probably comes out of nowhere and starts playing really well because he has a revitalized career in Minnesota under KOC.
Yeah.
Then we can revisit that conversation. But right now, I think they'd probably be slotted to be fourth.
That's fair.
And I feel like a lot of Vikings fans would feel that way. TJ Hawkinson's going to be out for a little bit.
You got Justin Jefferson. Jordan Addison's got some
weird
issues.
Do you think the NFC could get 3 teams in the playoffs?
The NFC North?
NFC North, excuse me.
Oh, yeah.
I don't. I think it's the Packers and the Lions.
For some weird reason, I feel like the Bears, but Anthony, I felt this way last year with Justin Fields, and it just didn't pan out that way. But now it's the same thought I had with the Pittsburgh Steelers. They were a good team, and they got better at quarterback. If you're a good team and get better at that position, there's really no reason for me to not believe that you are going to take a step forward. Like the Bears, I thought were going into last season were a good team, and I thought if Justin Fields could reach that point that he needed to, they would be really good. He wasn't able to. They got Caleb Williams, who I think is an upgrade. And I think they have a chance to be.
How many teams make the playoffs?
7.
Yeah, they're not going to make it.
I mean, you got.
I'm just looking. Cowboys, Eagles.
That's 2.
Lions, Packers.
4.
You've got the Falcons.
One team from the South.
Falcons.
5.
Maybe the Buccaneers, depending.
No. It's only
Okay.
South is only get one team.
49ers and Rams.
Rams won't make it.
I think that right there, that's
They lost their
8 teams
best
that I just
player.
rhymed off that I think are going to be better than the Bears.
It may come down to the Bears and the Rams, but I think the Rams. I don't know. You lose the best player of this
They lost
generation.
Aaron Donald. Yeah.
Of this,
that's a big
the
loss.
best player.
But that's still a pretty good roster.
But we didn't even know anybody on that
I
defense
know.
last
Look,
year
they won
other than
10
Aaron
games.
Donald.
They won 10 games.
I think you lose Aaron Donald. I think that's
Oh, it is. It's a
because
significant.
you lean on him so
Blow.
much to do so much. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
All right, we got our Sports Six-Pack next. So if you have a question for us, leave it at the Air Comfort Service tax line, 314-399-9646. Sports Six-Pack next.
I have a question.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
With Carey Davis and Jamie Rivers, I'm Anthony Stalter. Time for the Sports Six Pack here in the Fast Lane on 101 at ESPN. Marsh, go.
Question number 1.
All right, we get a text from Todd, first-time texter, listening to the Fast Lane, and we were talking about the modern game of baseball. And here's Todd's question, all about pitching 95+ and hitting home runs. The question is, in our collective opinion, does Greg Maddux have the career he had if he pitches in today's game?
No.
I'm going to add on to that before we answer. Would Greg Maddux have even been given the opportunity?
No.
That's the problem. Because I think Greg Maddux has the same career because...
Right, he's Greg Maddux.
He's that good.
Yeah.
Right? The swing and miss that he had, the way he pitched and how good he was. But would he have been given the opportunity from AAA or whatever? Like, obviously his talent would have shined through at some point, but he wouldn't have been one of those guys where you have the top 3 prospects coming up. He'd have been somewhere down here. And all of a sudden, after about 3 or 4 years of pitching in AAA, you'd be like, this guy's... For some reason, they don't hit the ball against this guy.
Right.
Well, let's see if he can come out of the bullpen.
Yes.
He's one of my favorite pitchers of all time because I've heard him talk about the spin rate. Like, people, they pick up on the spin, right? They know if it's a fastball or not. But he was able to change it from a 88 mile per hour fastball to a 92 or 93 mile per hour fastball. And how that screws with hitters, how it's difficult. You see the spin, you know it's a fastball, but how fast is it coming if you change the speeds on it? I thought he would probably not, I don't think he would have the opportunity to be here right now. And I think I've heard him say that, but I don't think he would be given the opportunity because, again, what we were talking about with the measurables, the size, the speed, all of the other attributes, if you don't fit this box, people are very rarely, scouts, coaches, whatever, they're afraid to take a chance on something that's different than what they're seeing from other players.
No doubt.
Question number 2.
Good question, too, by the way.
Got a question from Grant Francis Fan Club. Jamie, Marshy, can you educate the listeners a little bit about local ACHA hockey? Obviously, I work with Maryville. Darren Kimball, who you know really well. He's now the head coach with SIUE. You have Illinois. You have Mizzou, Mo State.
Love that guy.
What are your thoughts on ACHA hockey? Because I think being around it, and Grant Francis Fan Club makes a great point. It is ran like it is an NCAA sport.
Yeah, it is. And look, it has come a long way in the last 10 years. ACHA hockey used to almost be, I don't want to put it down. It was not taken very seriously by certain programs. And now with the sport of hockey growing as much as it has in the United States, there's only so many Division I teams out there. There's still a lot of really good hockey players, or maybe even players that are still developing, and the ACHA is a great platform for them. It's great because you continue to play at a high level of hockey. You're representing your school. You've got that that school mentality. Some of these programs, like I know a bunch of kids went and played in Arkansas. And I was like, Arkansas? They're like, it was awesome. And then, like, North Carolina, UNC has a team now. I think there's one in Florida. I think
there's a lot.
They're popping up everywhere because hockey's a great sport. And now you have more players that play at a higher level, maybe not the highest, but a higher level, to where it makes it fun. And again, you can engage the student body with these hockey games.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
I think in North Carolina, I could be wrong on the teams, but I believe they played, like, it is so big down there that they played a game outdoor at one of the football stadiums.
They did. It was UNC State and UNC State.
Yeah.
I think they played in Raleigh.
Yeah.
Where the Hurricanes had their game.
Right across the parking lot.
Nice.
So, it's getting big. It's getting big for sure. So, I'm excited for this upcoming year.
All right, I'm excited.
Question number 3.
This one comes from Hockey Bob. We were talking earlier about Matthew Tkachuk, and Jamie, you touched on what kind of person he is, not just the player, but what kind of person he is. From Hockey Bob, could Robert Thomas, living with the Tkachuks for a couple seasons, have helped made Robert Thomas who he is?
Oh, absolutely. The first season he lived with Big Walt, he learned a lot of things in a hurry. That's for sure. That's the one thing that... So one thing Keith Tkachuk always, no matter if you were his son, his teammate, whatever kid he was coaching, is just respect. respect the game, respect everybody around the game, and then compete. He always was compete. No matter what, you're always working hard, you're always competing. So for a kid like Robert Thomas to have had the opportunity to live with Walt, and I'm sure people have this vision of like every night Walt sitting this kid down and talking to him. No, it doesn't work that way. But from time to time, you're both sitting there, maybe you're watching the hockey game, something happens, blah, 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 you start to talk. I guarantee Robert Thomas got to know in a hurry about competing. And how much Walt has so much hatred for players that don't compete and don't try and are not good teammates. And so for Robert Thomas, yeah, it probably helped his maturation process, his development for sure, because you come out of junior hockey and you're one of the best players out there. Sometimes you don't have that respect, or it's not that's a bad choice of words. Sometimes you don't have that level of appreciation for some of the other things. Sometimes you don't have that compete at all costs because you don't really have to. You're so good.
Yeah.
So I think not only do I know it helped Robert a lot living over there, and then obviously he was teammates with Matthew, became very good friends with Brady and all this stuff. There's no negative that can come out of that.
I think that's the thing that separates like really good players from great players, like the talent, obviously, but your willingness to compete at all costs. Like when you are, I don't care who is in front of me. I don't care if it's my brother. I don't care if it's my best friend. I want to beat the hell out of you. We can have a beer later. We can laugh about it later, but I want to beat the hell out of you. It's no hard feelings. And when your best friend or your brother competes with you in that same manner, that's when you're really getting the best out of everybody. And if you have a team full of people like that, those teams usually win championships.
We get a quick text from the 618. Says, let's not disregard Robert's parents and his family. Okay. That wasn't part of the question. It wasn't a Sports Six-Pack question. It was about the impact that being around the Kachucks would have. I've met Robert Thomas's mom and his dad. They're fantastic people. His dad is an absolute riot. He loves to have a good time. He's a very respectful individual. Obviously has played a huge part in Robert Thomas's hockey career. So not disregarding anything that the parents and family have done.
All right, we'll finish our Sports Six-Pack next on 101 ESPN. At Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum, they have over 700 vehicles all in one location. Rest assured that you're going to find the car, truck, SUV, or van that you're looking for. They've got tremendous deals going on throughout the month of July, and they also extended their hail sale. So they still have some vehicles that, while available, they've got the hail sale going on where you can find discounted cars, trucks, SUVs, because of the hail sale, and then you can stack whatever incentives and specials that are going on right now throughout the month of July at Auto Centers Nissan. You can stack those on the hail sale vehicles, so you have massive savings all the way around. But they do have new Nissans, they do have pre-owned vehicles, different makes and models. As always, they've got the 30-day return promise. They're so confident that you'll love the car, you'll love the experience, you'll love the fact that they take care of you at Auto Centers, that they give you that peace of mind coverage. So within 30 days, if you need to bring that vehicle back for any reason, they will refund your money back to you. So that's their 30-day return promise. They also have the complimentary 1-year maintenance on all new Nissans, and they do a tremendous job, too, when it comes to financing. They've got financing options for everyone at Auto Centers Nissan. So rest assured, you will be able to finance that vehicle, even if your credit might not be where you want it to be. AutoCentersNissan.com. Visit them out in Herculaneum. Tell them Anthony Stalter sent you. It's Auto Centers Nissan.
Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Cardinals get back in action tomorrow as they take on the Atlanta Braves. Sonny Gray will take the mound for the Redbirds. 6:20 first pitch tomorrow. We have part 2 of our Sports Six-Pack coming up next. So if you have a question that you have not sent in, do so using the Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646. Part 2 of our Sports Six-Pack is coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
I have a question.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
Let's continue our Sports Six-Pack here on the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, I'm Anthony Stalter, Andrew Marsh.
Question number 4.
Question from the 417. What is your bold prediction for the second half of the MLB season?
Cardinals or anything?
Why don't we do one of both? One of each.
Bold prediction, Anthony. Go.
The Braves make the biggest, most stunning, surprising trade. Whatever that may be. Not the Dodgers, not the Phillies, not the Yankees, not the Orioles. It's the Braves.
I say they just start playing better. They started struggling once Ronald Acuna got hurt. Like they kind of went on a tailspin there for a little bit.
I also think they're flying under the radar, which is weird.
You think so?
Yeah, because everybody's talking about the Phillies. Yeah. People aren't really paying attention to the Braves that much. You know what? How about this? The Braves win the pennant.
Ooh, really? Do they win another World Series with Ronald Acuna?
Yes.
Injured? Wow.
They make
that is
the move.
A bold statement.
They make the move for Luis Robert or Brent Rooker. They win the trade deadline sweepstakes and they win the pennant.
I don't like it.
Okay, good.
What does that mean for your Cardinals, Anthony?
Oh, they'll make the playoffs. They're gonna win the division. That's my Cardinals prediction.
That was mine, too, yeah.
They win
Cardinals
the division.
win the division. As far as overall in baseball, I don't know if I can compete with Anthony's Braves winning the pennant, you know? I like the Mets, though. I'm not going to lie. I like the Mets this year.
The New York Mets?
I do like the Mets. I do. I think that it's an interesting story. You know, they kind of liquidated a lot of their pieces and whatnot, and now they're starting to play pretty good baseball. They're right there. Unfortunately, they're nipping at the heels of the Cardinals in that wild card race, so I don't want to be too bold with my prediction. Say the Mets make the playoffs. That's probably not great for the Cardinals.
No, probably not.
Although if they win the division like we think they are, it's irrelevant.
Then you're right.
So I'll say the Mets make the playoffs.
Is it a bold prediction to pick the Astros to win their division? I mean, they were stinking it up. They're only in a game back right now. Is that where you were going?
I have Houston.
I don't think it's a bold. But I guess if I had said it a month and a half ago.
So
there's different degrees of bold.
I was thinking the same thing. I think Houston wins their division after their slow start and actually wins the pennant and goes back to the World Series. So all these teams are going the whole year, and then at the end of the day, we have the team that's there every single year for the most part. They're in the LCS. What have they been in, like 6 LCSs in a row?
I would say ALCS. I think the Yankees actually win the pennant. Maybe that's my bold prediction.
We better not bet on them, Carey.
Yeah, Carey, you should stay away from
board.
Hey, listen.
You started betting on them, and they went
last night. I may go with the MLS for the rest of the damn season.
I think you should.
I probably will. If I can, let me tell you something. If I can find odds that
Go
just
for
like
it.
your 0.5 Gorman bet.
Nah, he screwed me over a couple times now.
Here's a bold prediction for the Cardinals. I think they win they don't win. They get the 3rd spot in the wild card. I think the Brewers, who are 1 game behind the Dodgers, actually, in terms of record, I think the Brewers have a strong second half, jump the Dodgers, and the Cardinals play the Dodgers in the first round of the postseason.
You take that back right now. I'd like to win again.
Start your season in LA and end it in LA.
Uglier and uglier the more that you spoke.
just nasty.
It's a bold prediction. It's probably not going to come true.
Let's hope not.
Wow,
I
Marshall.
want to start the
I've heard
season
some
in
crap.
LA and end the season in LA.
Yeah.
Miles Michaelis pitching in one of them games.
Oh,
I don't have a Cardinals bowl prediction. 'Cause I don't want to.
What?
You're not going to like it.
You have to participate.
Carey, you can't be the non-participant.
Yeah, you gotta
can't bench
participate, man.
yourself.
I get so much hate.
We can bench you. You can't bench
for
yourself.
my predictions and my thoughts. Okay, my bold prediction: the Cardinals will not do anything at the trade deadline. Nothing.
Not really that bold.
That's somewhat bold. Like if they do nothing,
Nothing. Not a thing.
people,
Okay,
I would be furious.
make a trade for a name that you're.
No.
you have to-
Stick,
you have
I think sticking.
Okay, yeah,
I think that's
nothing.
bold. I think
They do
like,
nothing at the trade deadline.
All right.
And therefore, they don't do what Marshy said, and therefore, they don't even have to make it to L.A.
Jeez. Boy, I feel sad now. Jamie and I got him winning the division. Yeah, Marsh got him going back through the buzzsaw of L.A.
Carey's got them
With
relocating the
Milwaukee.
franchise.
Winning
They would be here in St. Louis.
forever. Wow.
They don't make a trade at the deadline. I mean, you know. What can you say?
Cardinals still have a minus 38 run differential.
I don't know if people watch.
You
I don't know
know,
if people have
that's-
been paying attention to that or not, Jamie. You know,
They're
it's
gonna-
kind of important.
Everything's fine.
The run
The
differential?
Reds
Yeah.
have a plus 38 run differential.
Yeah, look at them. They suck.
Yeah, what we looked
they're
that
only
up.
3
When was
games
the
out
last
of the
time-
wild card
Yeah, I kind of
spot.
feel like they're coming.
When was the last
Pirates are
time
500.
a team made it to the playoffs? Didn't we look that up?
Well, the
With
last
negative
time they
run
won
differential, won the division.
we couldn't find a team that won the division with a negative run differential.
Yeah, that was like it might have been like 2001. I thought.
I don't remember finding one.
I thought we did, but I'm not sure. I think maybe 2004. It was a while ago.
I can't. My ESPN doesn't even go back to 01.
It's been a long time.
So hey, guys, there you have it.
Everything's fine.
I'm looking at the standings. The White Sox have 27 wins.
That's why I was trying to give Anthony a closer.
They're terrible.
Yeah, he's trying to give me a closer with a 21-win
you
team.
blew 40 saves. You take half of that.
They are
You got 20 more
27
wins,
and a
huh?
half games out of a playoff
Hiring a
spot.
closer to finish in dead last.
Just flip them, Anthony. I told you.
I know. Oh, here you go. 04.
That's what I
05.
said.
05.
05.
The Padres. Oh, man. The Padres won the West with a minus 42 run differential.
There you go.
Every single team in the West that year had a negative run differential, including the second place Diamondbacks with a minus 160.
They weren't even trying.
They weren't even trying.
Was that
like
when
when they
the-
lost, they just got destroyed.
Those were great days when the Dodgers were bad.
Yeah.
Major League Baseball had to step in and prevent them from going bankrupt.
Right.
I feel like people
I
forget
miss
that.
those days. Yeah.
Like Major League Baseball had to step in to help them.
Yes.
And now that they just run the league now.
Oh yeah, they were going through
That's fair.
I think it was the McCourts. I think they're going through a nasty divorce. I mean, it got bad there. You're right. Major League Baseball has to step in. Yeah, I wish we could go back to those days where everybody hated the Dodgers, but we also laughed at them. Not everybody hated the Dodgers because they just acquired Shohei Ohtani and Teoscar Hernandez and Tyler Glasnow, and also signed
Yamamoto.
Yamamoto in the same damn offseason.
Well, half their rotation's injured, I believe.
I think it's more than half.
They have
Kershaw.
They have like 10 starting pitchers.
Timmy Tight Pants. Who else is out? Yamamoto's out too, isn't he?
Yes.
They've got like 4 of their top 5
What's his face
guys.
that had a good year
Walker.
not too long ago?
And,
What's his name? Gonsolin.
Tony?
Tony Gonsolin.
Yeah. Tony.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's it. Tony Gonsolin.
What happened to that guy? He was an all-star 2 years ago.
Right. Well, he got to the Dodgers. They sprinkled some of their magical pixie dust on him. He wound up being an all-star. This just happens.
Walker Buehler hurt too, right?
Yeah.
Did he hurt?
Yeah. They're all hurt.
They'll get 3 more guys at the deadline. They'll probably get Tarek Skubal.
Kershaw's on the 60-day. Dustin May's on the 60-day. He had this season-ending injury. Yamamoto's on the 60-day IL with a shoulder injury.
What's their record? Anthony?
Glasnow's on the 15-day. Joe Kelly's 60-day.
41.
Yeah. Okay, we done with the six-pack there, kid?
Well, we only did one question. But
No, do another one.
You want one more?
Yeah, why not?
Question number 5.
From the 314, what will be the biggest strength of the 2024-2025 Blues?
Goaltending.
Goaltending. I agree.
Flat out.
Yep.
I mean, you got 2 really good goalies.
Goaltending.
Yep.
Carey?
Goaltending.
Sounds good.
Marshy?
I just said goaltending.
Goaltending.
And Colton
Tony was
Parayko.
pointing at
And
him.
Colton Parayko.
Colton Parayko.
Anthony was pointing at Tony Gosselin was in my head.
I figured.
Yeah, Tony.
Well, no, we got the 6. We got
Oh,
the
we got
6.
We got one more.
That's what I'm saying.
Pointing at him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm pointing at him. Fire up the six-pack. That's the last question.
He put away the last beer.
Come on, man. Get that thing
I'm
back
saving
out.
it.
Get it back out.
get it.
Get
Saving
out of
it
the
for
fridge.
us.
Let's go.
Finish this thing.
What?
Finish this thing.
Let me tell you what I think of you.
I think of you, Marshy, and your good looks and your great hair.
All right, here we go.
Question number 6.
From the 314, hello.
Hello.
Is Anthony scared of Learn? I think she would whoop his butt.
Why don't be scared to learn?
Why would you fight
She's a
her?
she's a
Learn is
wonderful
awesome.
person.
She's a great human
A
being.
great human being.
Maybe said Texter's talking about the home run derby.
I don't even. It would be Brooke that would square off against
Yeah.
Learn, not me.
Our team.
I will tell you what. I've told you this time and time again. Brooke is. You don't want to mess with Brooke. Sweet as can be. Kind, nice, polite. She is freaking aggressive. And she wants to win.
Good.
And
Yeah.
everything she
Sign
does.
her.
Like yeah, she wants to win. She is a athlete and she wants to knock your head off to win.
I like
whatever
that.
it takes.
Nice.
She's on our team.
Yeah.
Go.
I still don't know how Learn ended up in a fight with
I don't
Anthony.
either. Yeah.
That's
No.
puzzling
There's
to me.
been zero evidence.
But I guarantee it was Anthony's
Zero.
fault, whatever it was.
Well, that's just. I mean, that's default.
Yeah.
Yeah. When in fault, lay the fault on me.
Okay.
It's rule number 4 in the fast lane. It's my fault.
I'm not going to remember that one.
No,
No,
it's
we
easy.
got it. Yeah.
We'll shorten it called Blame Anthony.
There you go.
That's rule number 4.
Rule number 4, blame Anthony. Could the Cardinals' schedule hurt them down the stretch if they don't bolster the team properly? That's next on 101 ESPN. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. So the Cardinals have one of the more difficult schedules remaining in all of baseball. In fact, they've got the 9th hardest schedule, according to Brooks Gate. Are you guys concerned about the schedule, or are you like me and you don't really worry about playing the schedule game? Because you just don't know. You don't. A week from now, you could have 19 top players all get hurt on the same night. Is it possible? Sure. Is it feasible? Realistic? No. Still, you don't know how things change throughout the course of the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So while it's the 9th hardest now, who knows? Some of these teams, after the trade deadline, could look a lot easier than they do at right now.
Yeah, I don't really look at the schedule too much, just because you have those situations to where the Cardinals earlier this year lost to the White Sox, lost to the Marlins, and those were supposed to be gimmies, and you didn't win them. So you also have had games with the Cardinals, like they swept the Orioles, and they should have got their faces kicked in for that series, and it didn't happen. Mm-hmm. So I don't worry about the schedule. I worry more about worry more about my own team, like the Cardinals. I worry about the Cardinals and what they're doing, and whoever the opponent is. The Cardinals have proven this year that they can either play as poorly as the worst team in the league or as good as some of the best teams in the league.
I agree. We learn playing the schedule game with the Blues. It just doesn't work.
Nope. Yeah, that was
they just beat the Lightning. This is great. They lost the Blackhawks. They just beat the Avalanche. They lost the Blue Jackets.
I don't know. I don't know what. Does it concern me? To a degree, because I think the Cardinals have had some things have happened. They've created some of their own luck, and then they've had some things that have happened that have gone really well. Like you play the Cubs and the pitcher, you have that number of errors in the first inning, and you end up scoring 11 runs, 10 runs. Like things have happened for them that are good. And then I think when you play better teams, those other teams don't run into those mistakes. So you have to play error-free, mistake-free baseball. You have to play sound baseball. You got to find ways to get runners across, because you're not going to be able to hit home runs when you're facing better pitching. And so I think the second half after the All-Star break will give you a better example, a better glimpse of what this team is and who they are. I know we said that all season with the Blues. This stretch is the stretch. Mm-hmm. Here we are with the Cardinals. And I think you do that with teams that are kind of right there middling, not really good, not really bad, have the opportunity to be good if they put it all together consistently.
I do think that there is something to being kind of battle tested going into the postseason. I think having to play games that are meaningful, in September, or it tends to kind of get that team feeling that way heading into October, where they keep that urgency. I do agree with that. Like winning the division by 10 games or something like that, and you're worried about resting guys and all. I would rather have a team competing down the stretch, and I think the Cardinals, whether they're competing with the Brewers for the division or competing for one of those wild card spots, either way, I think they're going to be competing going into the postseason. So from that standpoint, I think that is important. But ultimately, Jamie, I think you just said something important. How do the Cardinals improve their current roster? That's what's important, regardless of the schedule. They have the trade deadline. And by the way, I was thinking about this. John Mozeliak has talked about the trade deadline being a seller's market. It was that way last year, and it has been that way since the addition of another wildcard team. Knowing that, wouldn't you be more aggressive then in the offseason?
Well, you would think that you would have to zig while everybody's zagging, is be more aggressive in the offseason because maybe less competition.
Right. And
for said players.
And there have been some off seasons where he has not been aggressive.
No.
So if he knows that it's going to be a seller's market at the deadline, you would think he would be more aggressive in the offseason, knowing that he's not going to make several moves at the deadline because he doesn't want to pay the prices.
Yeah.
Just a thought. Remind me when we get in the offseason to make that point again, Jamie.
All right.
Okay. Thanks.
I got you.
Carey.
Yes.
Jamie forgets, you remember.
I forgot what you said already.
Good.
I'm sorry.
Not great.
This is tough.
You should write it down and put it on a little sticky note and stick it right in the corner of your computer there.
Yeah. All right.
Not going to remember.
That's unbelievable. Okay. Well, we've got some work to do, Jamie.
Yeah, we do.
Jamie or I. We've got Corey returning.
Are you excited? You nervous?
I think it's Jamie today.
You think so?
I think it's me too.
I think Corey's taking on Jamie.
We'll see, but
And it's his choice, but Jamie's not here tomorrow, too, so it actually would be
he
beneficial if he takes you.
I think if he picks you, Anthony, you take him out behind the woodshed today. You don't have to worry about me being there.
And I think if he takes you, you take him underneath the woodshed.
On top, beside, and back.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
You bury him.
Yes.
We
Correct.
bury the bodies here in the fast lane.
We do.
What rule is that?
2.
That's 2.
Okay.
Rule number 1.
Nobody's safe.
Nobody's safe.
Rule number 2.
2, we bury the bodies.
Yeah.
Rule number 3. Don't look at Anthony in the eyes.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Rule number 4. Blame Anthony.
Blame Anthony.
Those two things kind of contradict each other.
Well, it was your stupid rule to begin with. Don't look you in the eyes, so we're blaming you.
When I first got to the show, I was, because I spoke to him. We did a podcast together, and we would talk all the time.
It's different.
And then when I started the fast lane, he was like, they were like, I know you all have prior working relationship, but this is a different set of rules.
It's different.
Yeah.
Do not look him in the eyes in the office or at work. It can go left.
He's a real jerk when it comes to his show.
Yeah. I've asked you guys, demanded to not talk about this, and yet you continue to bring this up.
Anthony, sometimes people have to reach out for help.
I'll handle this. Hey, I'll handle this after the show. Gauntlet next on 101 ESPN. Jamie, can you refinance my current loan right now?
Oh, you wouldn't want me to do that, that's for sure.
Do you have a guy?
I do have a guy.
Is he on the line now?
He is. His name's Stewie from Stewart's American Mortgage Corporation. Stewie, we are so thankful to have you on speed dial. If people are refinancing, what should they be looking for right now?
The refinancing is hot right now. Rates have dropped. I just got a call this morning from an ESPN listener who says, I hear you all the time. I don't believe you actually answer the phone. And I do. This is my personal cell phone number. And he said, hey, I'm at like 7.75% on my mortgage. I don't want to go ahead and refinance. It costs thousands of dollars to go ahead and do it. Maybe rates are going to go down a little bit more. I said, Bagel loan, no closing costs at all. He's saving $260 a month on his payment for nothing. And 6 months from now, the rates go down. Guess what they'll do again? Refinance it again and save even more money. Hey, I even have a story of a customer that refinanced 4 times over a 2-year period, went from a 30-year loan to a 15-year loan, and his payment ended up being the same on a 15-year loan than when he started at. So he knocked off 13 years off the loan. Think about it. You can knock off years or you can get a lower payment, whatever you want. It's all available. All you got to do is pick up the phone.
That's right, but you do have to pick up the phone, though. You have to call Stewie or text him if you want to, because like he said, he gives out his personal cell phone number, so you can call or text. 314-324-4440.
Again, that's 314-324-4440.
Or you can always Google the bagel loan, and you could get that number right there at his personal website. He's Stewie from Stewart's American Mortgage Corporation. Stewie, keep up the great work, man.
All right, have a good night, guys.
NMLS number 226715.
Your exclusive home of St. Louis Blues hockey. WX. Warriors. 4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you survive the Gauntlet?
All right, day 3 with our guy Corey, who's on the line right now for the Gauntlet. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Andrew Marsh, and Anthony Stalter. 403, your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. What's up, Corey?
Hey, guys, what's up?
Not much, man. Are you ready?
Yeah, I honestly, I don't know if I want to be part of this, but after you guys talking about me, I heard everything you said.
Oh, well, what did we say? Taking you to the woodshed?
Something about taking me to the woodshed. I love Jamie. I know he's a big defensive hockey player, but I'm a professional MMA fighter.
There we go. All right. Maybe we just back down a little bit. Why not?
Fun for everybody. Good fun.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to get to it. The hell with it.
That's true.
And rip, Carey.
All right, Corey.
So instead, I'll just ask Jamie. Are bonita fish big?
Or what?
Bonita fish big?
I ain't biting on this one, dude. Nope.
Do you remember the Step Brothers scene where they're sitting there and the brother's telling the story? Was it Will Ferrell asked?
No, it was
Dale.
It was Dale.
Dale asked, "Are bonita fish big?" And
yeah.
Yeah, they're trophy fish, so yeah, they're pretty big.
Damn it, Dale! It's a great
I was
scene.
asking about the story.
Yeah, right. All right, so Corey, let's get back to business here. Do you want Jamie Rivers or me in the 3rd round?
So, so if I go against you today, then I win. If I skip over Jamie, I've done some shady stuff in my life, but I ain't so good.
Wait, you cut out a little bit. So were you going with Jamie or me?
Well, yeah, he's not going to be there tomorrow. I'm not.
He's not skipping over. Not skipping over. All right, so Jamie's up in round 3. All right, sounds good.
All right, good luck, buddy.
Thanks.
All right, Jamie's going to make his way into the cone of silence.
Get out of here.
Corey, you've done this before. Go ahead and tell Marsh to spin the wheel.
Marsh, spin that wheel.
Are we hoping for not hockey?
If it went into the hockey, I might hang up, guys.
Don't do that. You're a competitor.
Oh, no! All right, Corey, it's been fun talking to you.
Oh, is it hockey?
It is hockey.
Oh, Corey, I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, the wheel does.
You know what, though?
But you beat me in football yesterday.
Yeah, you just beat
I don't
Carey
know.
in his sport. You could do it. You could do it again.
Shouldn't have missed those answers.
No.
Still sitting with me.
Corey, you there?
I try to do the gentleman thing. And of course, I get hot.
You know what? Did you actually want me today? Because maybe the wheel got confused and chose hockey.
I actually was going to save Jamie for last because he beat me once.
So the wheel always picks me for hockey. So the wheel got confused. Sorry, man. All right, here we go, Corey. 4 questions, all hockey. Each question worth 2 points, unless you ask for the options, and then they're worth 1 point. Are you ready?
Sure.
Okay. Question number 1. David Backus played for 3 teams in his NHL career. The Blues, the Bruins, and which other team?
Options.
The Anaheim Ducks, the Vancouver Canucks, or the Arizona Coyotes?
What was the first one?
Anaheim Ducks.
Let's go with the second one, wherever that was.
Vancouver Canucks?
Yeah, I don't even know 3 hockey teams.
All right. All right, I'm getting it. Canucks, final answer?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Question number 2. In the 2003 NHL entry draft, which round was David Backus selected by the Blues?
3rd, final answer.
Question number 3. The last team David Backus played against in the playoffs as a Blue was which team?
Boston Bruins? Final answer?
All right, Corey, last question. Backus wore 42 for the Blues, 42 for the Bruins, but what other number did he wear for his other team?
Options.
21, 24, or 32?
24.
Final answer?
Yep.
All right. Let's motion Jamie back in from the cone of silence. Corey, you feeling pretty good?
Yeah, I feel like Jamie can keep my line.
Okay, all right, we'll see. Jamie's walking in here right now, taking off his glasses. He says, I don't need these glasses.
Whoa.
And he throws them on the
Let's
desk
go,
here.
baby.
All right.
Let's go.
Jamie.
Yes.
Your category today is hockey.
Oh, come on. For real?
Yes, it is hockey.
All right, all right.
Hope you packed a snack.
Okay.
Here we go.
All right.
Question number 1.
Yep.
David Backus played for 3 teams in his NHL career.
Yeah.
The Blues, the Bruins, and which other team?
The Anaheim Ducks. Final answer.
Question number 2. In the 2003 NHL entry draft, which round was Backus selected by the Blues?
Ooh, Carey, that's a good question. I think he was a 4th round pick, but these drafts, they get you, Carey. Sometimes they get you.
Where did they get you, Jamie?
You'll know when it happens.
Just wondering.
2nd, 3rd, 4th. I believe David Backus was a 4th round pick. Final answer?
Question number 3. The last team David Backus played against in the playoffs as a Blue was which team?
I believe it was the San Jose Sharks. That was the whole thing there where Steve Ott gave him like his heating pad to make his back better to play in the last game, and Steve Ott couldn't play because Backus played instead of him. I believe that was the San Jose Sharks. Final answer.
Last question for you, Jamie. Backus wore 42 for the Blues, 42 for the Bruins, but what other number did he wear for his other team?
Okay, so it was Anaheim. 62? 63? I know it's a 60 number. Not yours, Anthony. If I take the options, it's going to be like 62, 63, 64. 62, final answer.
All right. Let's go over these, boys.
No, that was Pat Maroon. Son of a...
Here we go.
Got my big man mixed up.
Backus wore 42 for the Blues, 42 for the Bruins, but what other number did he wear for his other team? Corey, you went with 24. Jamie, you went with 62. Your options were 21, 24, and 32.
Oh, maybe it is 24.
Correct answer is
21.
21 was the correct answer, so we got a 0-0 tie.
Well, we're off to a hot start.
Absolutely. In the 2003 NHL entry draft, which round was Backus selected by the Blues? Corey, you said the third round without the options. Jamie, you said the fourth round, which was not an option.
Oh,
correct answer is?
It is the second round.
Second round.
How many picks are there?
A
Was he
lot.
like? Oh,
Yeah, there's a lot of picks.
32 per.
Well, yeah. All of the teams would have been. No, Vegas and
30?
30 picks. Yeah, something like that.
Either way, 0-0 tie.
All right.
David Backus played for 3 teams in his NHL career: the Blues, the Bruins, and which other team? Corey, you said the Vancouver Canucks. Jamie, you said the Anaheim Mighty Ducks. They weren't mighty at that time. They're just the Ducks. Yeah. Correct answer is?
The Anaheim Ducks.
Jamie did not need the option, so Jamie takes a 2-0 lead. It comes down to this.
Oh, boy.
The last team David Backus played against in the playoffs as a Blue was which team? Corey, without the options, said the Bruins. Jamie, without the options, said the Sharks. If it's the Bruins, we've got a walk-off. It's the Sharks or literally any team that ever existed in the NHL. Jamie wins by 2 today. Corey.
You have chosen poorly.
You lose.
Not today.
Correct answer is?
It is the Sharks.
The San Jose Sharks.
Anthony
Jamie.
Sharks.
Yep.
You're right the first time. Jamie wins 4-0 today over Corey. I'm sorry, Corey.
ouch.
Yeah, but you knew it. You said it. He actually said he was going to hang
I
up.
feel like we should just throw the trivia out. Me and Jamie go behind a woodshed.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, now. Oh, yeah, never mind.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. It was fun.
Thanks, Corey. Thanks for
You guys are
listening.
awesome. I listen to you guys every day.
Oh, we appreciate it.
Appreciate
Thank
that,
you.
brother. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll see you, buddy.
See you guys.
There you go, Jamie. Nice job.
Didn't know it'd be David Backus trivia
It's
day.
David Backus Day. Yep.
Wow.
It's David Backus Day here in the Gauntlet
All right.
on 101 ESPN.
62.
62.
Road.
That's okay.
Happens.
That's all right.
It does happen.
Both guys, former Blues.
Big guys.
You know? Yeah. It happens.
Drew Brees, 2004 draft. Happens.
It sure does, Carey.
All right, the pros and cons of bringing back the one and only Jack Flaherty. That's next on 101 ESPN.
ever been down to the southern part of the Gulf on the Bonita Run?
Always wanted to. It's amazing.
It is. It's gorgeous.
Are bonita fish big?
What?
Dale, don't interrupt the man when he's telling a story.
No, it's fine, Robert.
I was asking about the story.
What's this guy's deal?
I don't know, son. It's okay. Well, Dale, they are what's called a trophy fish. So, yeah, they're pretty big. I'm sorry.
Where are we?
That's part of this. He goes, I'm sorry, I don't know. I lost my place in the story. Damn it, Dale. That's good stuff. That is. Jamie doesn't like it, but me, Marsh, and Carey do.
I like it.
Yeah, you don't. I could tell by your face. Scowl on your face. So
no, I couldn't see. So I had to put my glasses on.
That's what it was. Okay, got it. Jack Flaherty. I think Cardinals fans, there's going to be a portion of Cardinals fans that are like, yeah, bring him back. Dude's been great this year. And then there's going to be a portion of Cardinals fans that are like, don't bring him back under any circumstances. I hate that dude. And then when you ask, May, why do you hate him? They're like, yeah, because he said that one thing. And then you're like, he didn't actually say it. And you're like, I don't care. I still hate him. So I think that kind of sums.
That was really good.
Sums up the love and the hate for Jack Flaherty. Was that good? Was that accurate?
Oh, very accurate.
Yeah. Okay.
Is Jack Flaherty a good pitcher?
He has been this year.
Great.
I thought there was more.
Me too. He has been this year. All right, pros and cons.
They're going to say,
yeah, he's got a 3.13 ERA. Yeah.
Would that be the best on the Cardinals roster?
That would be.
Oh.
That would be. Yeah.
I thought Sonny was a little lower.
Sonny's up. Sonny's got like a 3. He's up there. He's like 3.4 or something. He's up there, quote unquote. Anyways, okay, Jack Flaherty, pros and cons. I'll start here. I don't think there's any con to bringing back Jack Flaherty.
What?
I really don't.
Did you not know that this guy didn't even want to be a Cardinal when he was here?
That's unfounded. Objection.
Proof, please.
I don't think I don't think there's a con. Because if you bring him in, like people might say, well, you could give up too much for him. Okay, you're going to make a trade. So you're always at risk for giving up too much in a deal. Mm-hmm. One could say you gave up too much for John Lester. That was Lane Thomas. Lane Thomas went to Washington in that deal. You could make that claim, right? There's always a claim to be made that you gave up too much in a trade. But that is the price. So let's just push that aside. What other con would there be to bringing in Jack Flaherty, who's pitching really well?
Well,
he gets hurt.
Well,
don't pitch well.
The injury thing could be there, but one part that I don't necessarily know if it's unfounded, just maybe not public, is there was a riff. There was a riff between him and Contreras. To what level? I don't know. Did they just not see eye to eye on certain strategies, or were they like button heads? Was it like verbal? Like nobody knows. I don't even claim to know. I just know that there was a problem there of some kind. Now, can they get past that? Yeah, probably. I mean, just pitch. Just shut up and pitch. Mm-hmm. Hey, Contreras, just shut up and catch. Just do your jobs.
Yeah.
You know, like if
you guys both want to win, then get it done.
Yeah.
Be professional.
But that could be the only con to it is that black cloud, that gray cloud hovering above relationships in that clubhouse. That I don't know. Somebody said, oh, he's a Cancer. We don't know that. I've never been in the clubhouse. I have checked with people who are part of the organization that do have access to clubhouses. And the biggest thing that people say is that he's not a Cancer.
Yeah, they say he's a highly competitive dude.
Yeah.
And I asked somebody flat out last year within the organization, hey, is this dude a problem? And they said, no, he's part of the solution. He's part of the group that actually like cares, wants to be there.
Yeah, he's probably a little abrasive in the way he approaches things, but we love Lance Lynn for it.
Right. And so just to be clear, I took Jack Flaherty behind the woodshed last year when he made those comments in Baltimore about like, oh, I can't hear the pitch clock, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Like he was being a real turd about that.
He was.
Okay, cool. If you acquire him, boo his ass as loud as you want. And then when he pitches well, then you cheer him.
And let's just be honest, too. People look at that and they dissect that comment of, oh, he was like a shot at the Cardinals. Sometimes players they get to a new team, right? It's like the new girlfriend, the new boyfriend, whatever it is. And you're trying to keep them happy and their friends happy, and you compliment them. And the compliment sometimes, well, he didn't compliment her or him like that before. Yeah. Oh, well, what a jerk. Well, no, Jack Flaherty in this situation, I think he was trying to praise the fans of Baltimore. Maybe there was a little, I don't know.
He was being a turd sandwich.
Maybe there wasn't, though. But maybe it wasn't. Maybe he was just like, I can hardly hear the pitch calm. The fans are so loud here. Like, you get to a new team, a new building, new fans, Carey. You'd like to have your current fans on your side.
Correct.
Yeah, he was being a Diamondback in an Oriole uniform.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I think so.
But I don't know that.
Doesn't mean I don't.
It's not fair.
And it doesn't mean it's not true.
It doesn't mean I don't want to acquire him now to help this club.
It doesn't mean that it wasn't true. Like, it was louder there. That team was better. There was no one at the Cardinals Stadium last season.
Yeah, because you and your teammates stunk last year. Nobody showed up.
But it wasn't all on him. And I think when you talk about one of the cons, obviously the cons are he has been injury prone in the Cardinals uniform. Right now he is dealing with some type of back tightness, back issue. For me, back issues are one of the scariest things because, again, they grab you and you don't know when or where it's coming from or for how long it's gonna last. And if you have to get an injection, he had to miss a game, had to miss a start, was essentially out for a couple of weeks with the medication in his back. That to me would be the one thing that scares me. How much does he have left this season? Because clearly you're only going to have him for this season. Are you going to re-sign him in the offseason? Is he someone that you're going to bring back on a multi-year deal going forward? So what are you risking giving up to get him for 40 games? He's going to pitch what? 8 to 10
and
of those games?
Game.
And a playoff game, as Jamie just said, a playoff game. Is that worth losing what you're going to give up and knowing that you're probably not going to be able to re-sign him going into 2025?
Yeah, I think it is. I don't think you'd have to give up all that much.
Yeah, he would be a rental. I mean, it would be.
Rental.
What are you giving up to get him?
You'd probably have to give up like one of the guys that you got last year.
One of the Orioles.
You want to
from the Orioles
return to sender? You know, send back, was it Drew Rom and
Sajacy.
And who was it? It was a couple of guys.
Sajacy. No, Sajacy. Yeah,
was it Sajacy?
It was Drew Rom. No,
it was
Cesar Prieto.
Cesar Prieto.
Okay, there you go.
I believe so.
Now Flaherty's pitching much better this year.
Zach Showalter, is that right?
Yeah. So send Buck Showalter and
he has familiarity with the Warriors.
He does. Send Buck Showalter to Detroit, and the other guys. It would be something similar to that. Now he is pitching better though, and that means.
And he's going to have more suitors.
Exactly. There's going to be more of a market. So
yeah, it wasn't. I mean, when Baltimore signed him last year, and Baltimore sat him down. He wasn't even starting at one point. They put him in the bullpen.
Yeah, he wasn't great.
He wasn't doing great. He figured something out in Detroit, probably because he's been able to stay healthy. Mm-hmm. Again, the back issue, that would be a bit of a concern for me. If you've already had a couple of injections in your back because it's flaring up on you.
Just get the needle a couple of times.
Yeah, no, Anthony.
That's what you guys do as former athletes.
No, it is what we do. We don't think about the long term.
No, Carey, we don't. Wish it would have a little bit.
I had some electricity shooting through my leg in the last break.
I don't know what the text line. You did, yeah.
Oh yeah.
We thought you got shot.
Shoe fell off over here.
Yeah. What is that? Oh, God.
Started shaking.
Some type of nerve.
We just waited until you stopped.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. For those, and I don't know what the text line looks like, right? But if for those are like, no, don't bring them in. I don't want that. Blah blah blah. Go through the available pitchers at the deadline. You're not going to be impressed by most of them. And we don't know if Garrett Crochet is even available. But Jack Flaherty, just for comparison's sake, he's got 16 starts under him. I'm trying to bring up Sonny Gray. Anybody else struggle with Fangraphs? Like the site just stops?
Something weird happening.
Yeah.
Yesterday it was doing it. I don't know what it was.
All right. I was trying to compare him to Sonny Gray, but Fangraphs knew what I was doing, and they knew I was doing a live radio show, so they told me to get bent. So Sonny Gray, 3.13 ERA. I'm sorry, Flaherty's got a 3.13 ERA. That would be the lowest on the Cardinals. His strikeout rate of 11.27 would be the highest. His walk rate, I don't know, this is where I can't remember off the top of my head what Gray's walk rate is, but Jack Flaherty would be your best pitcher if you were to acquire him at the trade deadline. I'm in.
I'm in too. I don't care. You got half a season left, 40 games, whatever the heck it is.
Let's
I'm
roll.
in.
I'm trying to win around here.
Grant Francis fan club says, Marshy, whip out your poll again to see where the fans stand on Flaherty.
That's a good call. It's a real good call.
All right.
You got mad at me for telling Marshy to whip out his pole yesterday.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, but you had him whip it up for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, thank you.
You did.
Thank you.
He said, you don't, the glove. You don't tell him to try on the glove.
I knew that glove wasn't going to fit, i.e., I knew that people weren't going to vote to talk more football.
They don't.
And you just kept pushing and pushing for Marsh's poll. That's why I got upset.
He was aggressive.
He was.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
And at the end, you're like, whip it out, Marsh. Let's see. And lo and behold, I was right. The glove did not fit. And we lost.
Well, did we?
Yeah. Not really. We're still talking football.
We did get a text earlier from the water boy. Finally, and this is when we were talking football, some football talk. I was worried Marsh's poll had canceled football. From what Jamie says, I knew it was powerful, but not that powerful.
Yeah, no, good call. It's a great point. Hot take or hot garbage is next. If you got a hot take or hot garbage statement for us, send it into the Air Comfort Service text line at 314-399-9646. And we'll tell you whether or not it is a hot take or it is pure hot garbage. Next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update, driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Cardinals back in action tomorrow, taking on the Atlanta Braves. The Cardinals are 50-46 heading out of the All-Star break. Sonny Gray will take the mound in Atlanta. First pitch is at 6:20. If you missed anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. Just head to the podcast page. You'll find all of our interviews, all of our full shows. They're right there on the podcast page, and it's all brought to you by Dodge Tire and Auto Centers. We have hot take or hot garbage coming up next. So if you have a hot take you want to send us, do so using the Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646. Hot take or hot garbage coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
Boom! Hot take.
Time for hot take or hot garbage here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Andrew Marsh has your questions, or your statements, I should say, via the Air Comfort Service text line at 314-399-9646. Marsh, take it away, kid.
All right, this one comes from the 314 hot tater or hot garbage. I think it's supposed to say hot take or hot garbage.
Kind of like hot taters.
Hot taters
Yeah.
do sound pretty good right
Guys
now.
like tater tots?
Yeah,
Of course you do. Of course you do. You're a human being.
Be like tater tot hot dish.
Tater tot hot dish. What's that?
That's actually what people up north call it. We would call it tater tot casserole.
Oh.
really?
So you'd put a bunch of tater tots in a dish, and then you put stuff over it, and you call it a casserole?
Yeah.
Potatoes? I guess it is potatoes.
Yeah, it is right. You've already got the basis. Put more potatoes in there?
Yeah.
Like mashed potatoes on top of the tater tot?
Melt it all in
You
there.
never
with
have
the
too
cheese.
much, Carey.
Pretty good. And some French fries. Make it
When
all
I said it,
potato dish.
How about a couple of potatoes?
Just potatoes. Just put potatoes in there.
Crisp them up a little bit.
Hey,
What is the best potato?
Oh,
it's
yeah.
hard to beat a tater tot, I'm telling you.
The best type, the Yukon Gold potatoes are fantastic.
Oh, you're talking about actual
No,
potatoes.
I was talking about what you were like
yeah.
potato skins, French fries.
I love
tater
potato
tots.
skins, man. I love tater tots. I think
French
potato
fries.
skins are the most overrated.
I think your tater tots suck.
No, you don't. You don't. You can be mad at me, but I know that you love a tater
Yours
tot.
are way more unhealthy than mine. All fried up and stuff.
The tater,
As opposed to the
potato
sour
skins
cream.
are
I like that little crispy
thank you.
skin.
No.
It's
Get a
okay.
nice little ranch dressing.
I would
cheese.
rather have a baked potato if I'm going to do that.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'd rather have a sweet
What's
potato.
the difference, Gary?
Oh, yeah,
What's the
sweet
difference?
potatoes are
You're
great,
literally
too.
just
Yours is
hang on.
it's the
No.
potato skin feels more like it's trying to be a French fry, but not quite.
I agree.
I'd rather
I
just
don't know
have
where
it
you
French
raise your
fry.
potato skin.
Yeah, you
Opposing
bring some-
potato.
It's pretending to be a French fry.
And a baked potato is just two potato skins put together.
Well, bring in your potato skins, and I'll bring in.
I'll bring in my potato. Don't you worry.
Let me.
I'll drop that thing on the table.
Anthony keeps
Probably dried up and shriveled.
No.
Marsh, you were saying?
I was going to say, you keep your tater tots in your pocket like Napoleon Dynamite.
Not a bad idea.
Eat them when you want.
They're solid. You had tater tots, yesterday or the day before or something like that, Jamie? Yeah, you
they were
did.
good. I wish I had potato skins, but the tater tots were fine.
Yeah. No, they were great. You know it.
Anyways, hot tater or hot garbage? The Cardinals will win 90 games, but will still be in second place to the Brewers.
Pure hot garbage.
90
If they win 90, they're winning the division.
They're going to win the division with 93 wins.
That's your
93.
bold prediction.
That's my bold prediction.
We already did that.
Win 43 more
I'm
games.
adding to it.
There's only 40 games left. They got to win 43.
No, they got to win 43 games to get to his prediction. I don't know how many games.
What do they got left?
have.
They've played 96 games.
I do a little quick math there.
Yeah, so they've got 66 games left.
I don't think they're getting to 93 wins.
Well, there's some that believe and some that don't.
Oh,
and I believe.
43 and what's that? 23? Is that right?
Yeah, they're going to have a great second half.
Okay.
20 games over 500?
Yep.
Okay. Hey, bartender. I'll have what he's having.
Making a double.
That's fine.
The fireball on the rocks.
Fireball on the sphere, please.
All right, so that'll be $4.50.
12 cents, please.
I'm stepping up tonight.
From the 314 Hot Take or Hot Garbage, Kurt Warner was the best undrafted NFL player of all time.
It was pretty tough to argue. We're going to have to think for a second.
Yeah, right.
Carey, put your brain to work here.
Because I think...
Undrafted.
I think Priest Holmes was undrafted, but I wouldn't say he was better than Kurt.
No.
That's the thing. That's the toughest part, finding someone better than him. Like a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Yeah.
Undrafted.
Let's see here.
There aren't... He's probably...
Google
I'm
Hall of Fame players undrafted.
So I got a list right here, and I'm just going to read it as is, okay? I'm just going to throw out the names. Wes Welker.
Yeah. Not better.
Marion Motley.
Not better.
Drew Pearson.
Not better.
Chris Harris.
Oh, I might have found one.
Brian Waters. Don't say it.
Okay.
Let's see here.
None of those guys
Nate Newton.
Ooh.
Jason Peters. Adam Vinatieri. You're right, Priest Holmes. Let's see here. James Harrison.
Yeah, he's not better.
Rod Smith. It's really good.
What about Carey Davis?
Antonio.
Not better than Kurt Warner, but he's a damn
Antonio
good player.
Gates.
That's good.
Tony Romo.
going.
John Randall.
There, that's one. But there's one more.
There's like
plays the same position.
It's a no-brainer.
Warren Moon.
I almost got to Warren Moon.
You told me don't. You asked.
I said don't tell me.
Warren Moon better than Kurt Warner?
I mean, yeah, possibly.
How many championships you win?
0.
You won a couple of Grey Cups. I know that.
Yeah, he did.
He did do that.
Yeah.
I think Kurt Warner. I still got to give it to Kurt. I love Warren Moon. Warren Moon's one of my favorite quarterbacks of all time. Warren Moon, Dan Marino, absolute piss missiles attached to their shoulders.
Warren Moon. Okay, so I mean, Kurt Warner threw for 32,000 yards. Warren Moon threw for 49,000.
How many years, though? I think he played longer than Kurt.
17.
Kurt played... Oh, yeah, he played a little bit longer.
That should be a knock on him, though.
Kurt played 80 more games.
That's a lot of football.
80. Yeah, 80 more games.
I don't think there should be a knock on him for playing longer.
It's not a knock, but it's averaging it out. Mostly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He was
Nine-time Pro Bowler, Pro Football Hall of Famer. Twice led the league in passing yards.
Yeah.
Kurt, 4-time Pro Bowler, 2-time league MVP.
Oof.
He's it. Kurt Warner's that's a hot take. He's the best all-time undrafted NFL player.
From the 417 Hot Take or Hot Garbage, Mason Wynn is the best shortstop in the National League Central.
Not yet. Willie Adames has been doing it now for a couple of years. Ella De La Cruz. Who else we got?
O'Neal Cruz.
I'd rather
What's
have
his name? Swanson.
Dansby Swanson. I'd rather have Mason Wynn over Dansby Swanson. Age and all that, all of that considered.
Yeah.
O'Neal Cruz. Would you rather have? You got 3 guys potentially. Like
Boy,
that's
a damn good division for shortstops.
That's really good.
Holy smokes!
Yeah.
Is that the best shortstop crew division-wise?
That might be one, like, best position. Like, you could take it by position. Like, finding a position that has that many potential all-stars at one position in any division. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Like, any other division in any other position, you might not find
I think it's the best
4
division.
guys that you could have.
Shortstops.
Yeah, I'm looking at the divisions right now, and I think that, well, the National League East would be close.
So the East would have Trey Turner, Francisco Lindor, C.J. Abrams.
That's not bad.
Whoever the Marlins have.
Well, there you go.
And then
You don't even know his
Orlando
name.
Arcia for the Braves. So I would still say the NL Central.
Yeah. Lindor's kind of not been doing too great to start the season.
He's been good, though. He's been good. He's been real good
Getting better
lately.
later.
Going back to the tater tot thing, I think we overlooked waffle fries.
Well,
yeah, they're fine.
Curly fries.
They're solid.
actually
Curly
might
fries
be
are good.
the top tier of them all.
They're still not beating tater tots though.
Yeah.
Hardee's curly fries.
Arby's curly
Absolutely
fries.
No.
I don't know. No. The curly fries, I'm with Anthony on this one.
Are you all serious?
Thank you.
Yeah,
Jack in the
dead
Box
serious.
curly fries.
No,
You
tater
guys.
tots.
We should. Someone should.
It's
send
not even
something. We should have a.
close.
It's not.
No,
It's
it
not
is.
close. Curly
Thank you.
fries
Curly
are way
fries
better.
are actually top tier.
No.
If you're gonna pick a fry,
You take
if you're
the
gonna
amount of
pick a certain
sales
type,
yearly of curly fries.
potato skins ain't.
Hold on.
Oh, really?
Hold on. What,
Every bar in America is selling potato skins.
what my cohort is saying is we're talking about the tater tot. Comparing it to the tater tot, curly fries can get the out.
Yeah, I would agree.
Tater tot
They can go
all
fast
day.
lane themselves.
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
My goodness.
Yeah.
You guys.
Not even close.
Man, I'm gonna have to disagree with you all on that one.
Not good enough.
Not good enough.
Not even close.
Not even close. It's a fast lane on 101 ESPN. I feel like we accomplished a lot in that segment. I really do. With all the transfer portal chaos running rampant in college football, how important was it that Mizzou had their guy come back to him? Luther Burden. He elected to come back. He's going to be a Tiger, and Carey's going to be forced to talk about him next on 101 ESPN.
Go Tiger.
I definitely, want to win the Biletnikoff, and I'm trying to win the Heisman. I want to show I'm the best in the country, not just the best receiver.
That audio courtesy of J.D. Bickel. That was Luther Burden talking about his goals for the upcoming season. Get it, young man? Go for it. Absolutely. This could be his big year. Winds up, racking up a bunch of wins with his football team, as well as the awards, and then winds up being perhaps a top 10 draft pick in the NFL draft next year. But, when we talk about how important was it, because you got the transfer portal. Mizzou could have lost some big-time talent, not just to the NFL draft, but the transfer portal. Instead, one of the key members of Eli Drinkowitz's recruiting classes over the last couple of years, one of his first, Luther Burden, decides to stay here at Mizzou. But this is what happens when you win games. Yeah. When you have an opportunity. You're playing in the SEC, check. You're gaining national attention, check. And you're part of a program that is heading in the right direction, and you're part of it. And you're a big part of it. It was imperative that Mizzou won last year. They got off to a rocky start. Not that they lost, but they got off to a little bit of a slow start. Not a rocky start, but a slow start. If the season went sideways on them, who knows if Luther Burden sticks around? So that you want to get to Georgia's status. Wasn't that long ago, Georgia, a really good program. Not to what it is now.
Couldn't win a championship. But even before that, Carey, at least you're getting to title games. But before Kirby Smart, that was a really good program. Yep. Sound program. Not a juggernaut like it is today. Yeah. But you want to get to that status. You recruit. You win. You keep guys coming in. You have transfers like Mizzou does now. Transfers coming in as opposed to going out. This is part of the college football cycle that Eli Drinkowitz is creating in Columbia.
Yeah, I think the biggest part of that is the winning. I really do. And look, NIL money certainly is good for Luther Burden right now at the University of Missouri, but other teams could duplicate that. Like Georgia or some of the other big dogs could probably, I'm not going to say automatically, probably duplicate that for Luther Burden had he left. But I think Luther Burden is in a spot where he's happy, he's comfortable. He believes in his quarterback. He believes he's going to get the ball a lot. And I think ultimately he believes that the team's being coached the right way to win games. Because not only does he want to win those awards, he also wants to get drafted. Like Luther Burden, from what I understand, could potentially be a top 5 pick in the next NFL draft. If that's the case, then you want to be the guy. And by moving around, by transferring sometimes, it can do more harm than good, depending on the individual.
Sure.
Or the situation, quarterback, system, coach, whatever it is.
It all matters.
He's very comfortable in whatever Mizzou is doing right now with him. He's sticking it out, and now he wants to go win some major awards and obviously wants to play in the NFL.
I think it's awesome for him and for the University of Missouri. I think it's important. One thing I always, when colleges are recruiting, they talk about locking down your backyard. For Mizzou, that would be the St. Louis area, Kansas City, East St. Louis, the metro area, and getting guys to come from this area up to Columbia, I think is extremely important. To get a player like him to come to Columbia was extremely important, and that sometimes is the catalyst for other great players to say, well, if he went there and had a great time and has done a great job, why wouldn't I go there? That means there are more opportunities maybe than other players have thought in the past. They're in a great conference. They showed last year that they have the capability to be a really good team and bringing back a lot of those players. Luther Burden being a Biletnikoff finalist, which he said he would like to be, which is the best receiver in the country, a Heisman finalist, which I'm sure he would like to be. All of those things are right there in front of him. And if they are able to get him the ball, score touchdowns, win games, you do put yourself in position to not only be a top 10 draft pick, which I think a lot of these early mock drafts have him as a top 10 draft pick, but also put yourself in those conversations for a lot of those awards come postseason. So I think Mizzou has done a really good job, and the NIL part of it has helped with players from the state of Missouri, like high school, because Missouri allows them to, as soon as they sign that letter of intent, they can start receiving money. Other places have to wait until that player is on the college campus before they start receiving their NIL money. In Missouri, the moment you sign a national letter of intent, you can start receiving funds from your NIL, which means you could be a senior in high school, your second semester, and have, money to do all the things you want to do in comparison to some guys having to wait till they actually get on campus. So there are some things that are working in favor for Mizzou and allowing them to, again, get all of these national recruits, pay them pretty well because of the NIL rules, and they're winning games. So it's going in the right direction for them.
This feels different this time around here. I've been covering St. Louis sports now since 2012 when I first got here to 101 ESPN in some way, shape, or form. And with all the respect I have for Gary Pinkel and the job he did, and they went to back-to-back SEC championship games. Even then, though, you kind of sense like, okay, this is kind of the max, right? It feels like Eli Drinkowitz has busted through that, and this is a legit contender. You've got the playoffs. I'm not putting them on the same level as Georgia. Mm-hmm. I realize that the SEC got even better now because you got Texas and Oklahoma coming in. But I think Mizzou, after what I saw last year, has the capability of making some real national noise this upcoming season.
I agree. Like I said, I think their schedule allows them. Looking at the schedule now, obviously it's there you go. It's paper. Anything could change.
Yes.
At any point, but winning 10 games should be the bare minimum for this team for this season.
It better be.
Like that should be. If you don't win 10 games based on this schedule, it's not going to happen because this is the best team you have, the best schedule that you could have. Mm-hmm. It all falls into place. And so this is the time. This is the time for Missouri to be a final a playoff team come end of the season and have an opportunity to make a run. You're going to play some tough competition here and there, but all in all, this is a 10-win schedule at bare minimum for Missouri this year, I believe.
I agree. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Who are the most important players for the Cardinals heading into the second half? I think the names won't surprise you, but why? That's next on 101 ESPN. 3:02, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Who are the most important players for the Cardinals heading into the second half?
Ooh.
We might as well all start with the two guys that are the most obvious. They would be
Mason Wynn and Alec Burleson.
Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado.
Yeah.
We all know that for obvious reasons. Look, they have to play to the back of the baseball cards. But I'm glad you brought up Mason Wynn and Alec Burleson, because not only are Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado important for the Cardinals in the second half for the fact that, look, they're your top dogs, they're the top guys that are being paid that way, all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. Who knows if Alec Burleson and Mason Wynn can keep this up, too, in the second half?
True.
We can't just assume that everything that happened in the first half that went well is also going to go well in the second half. And Nolan Arenado and Goldschmidt, they didn't play it, so they're going to be better in the second half. Like, you could have a dip. You could go the other way, too. So if those two guys take a step back at all and Goldschmidt and Arenado don't pick up their games, well, then Carey's prediction that the Cardinals are going to win 93 games, that's going to fall flat.
Whoa. Hey, that was your prediction.
Oh, yeah, that was. Yep. Sorry.
Carey,
it was a prediction.
Sounds the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So besides Goldschmidt and Arenado, if you guys have thoughts on those two guys, go ahead.
Yeah, no,
But
you've
those are the
covered
obvious.
that.
Those are the obvious.
Yeah. For me, honestly, Miles Michaelis is one of the guys.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to get into that later. Just, the three pitchers that are going to be headlining the series coming out of the All-Star break. But Miles Michaelis is supposed to be your bona fide number 2 starter. He's being paid like a number 2 starter, but he's all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know what version is the real version of Miles Michaelis. And if the Cardinals are going to make any kind of a run for not just a playoff spot, but also for the division, like, they have to solidify what it looks like. And I know right now if you're listening, we'll just go get a guy at the deadline. Okay, fine. What if you get a guy that's not theoretically as good as Miles Michaelis? What if you get a 3 or a 4 or whatever? Like, Miles Michaelis, to me, is a very important piece of this. You need him to get back to being consistently solid game after game after game.
Yeah. Don't you hate when that happens?
Yeah.
Did you just get something to drink or eat?
Yeah.
I heard that, by the way.
I hate that.
I thought Satan was talking to me.
It's the worst. That just happened to me a lot. I'm like,
it came out of nowhere. I'm like, whoa, what is that?
Yeah.
I was like, I'm trying to keep the feet moving.
God forbid you drink, you have a drink during the break, or you drink something, right?
Yes.
And then all of a sudden,
have a drink.
You have a drink.
Drink of water.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Not that you have to wait till 6:01 for that drink. Usually, ish.
Legally, we always wait.
We do.
You know what I mean?
Never before,
guys.
Always
right?
after. Always after. Can I give you 3 players?
Oh, wow.
Absolutely. He's loaded for bear.
I didn't know we were doing that. I thought we were going one at a time.
No, we're not going one at a time.
Carey's
We're going
throwing 3 at us. Go ahead, Carey.
JoJo Romero.
Okay.
Andrew Kittredge. And Ryan Helsley.
Oh, I see why you did the 3 thing.
I got to have those 3. Because they have done such... I don't know. I know people do remember, but last year was so bad in terms of blown saves. It felt like every way you could lose a game, the Cardinals found that way to lose a game. It felt like no matter who Ali decided was going to pitch in the 8th or 9th inning, they had a bad night. The night before, they probably pitched well in the 7th inning, and then they gave them an opportunity in the 8th or 9th, and they stunk. And so everything that could go wrong went wrong last year. They have found something with these 3 guys where if you have a lead, be it a 1-run lead, a 2-run lead, you feel extremely comfortable when those 3 guys come in, no matter at one point, whether it's JoJo in the 7th or in the 8th, or Kittredge in the 7th or the 8th, and Helsley in the 9th. You feel very confident and comfortable that you're going to win that game. So for me, those 3 guys if you continue to get the lead, your starters give you 5 1/3, 6 innings, whatever the case. If they can get you to the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning, I am comfortable believing that this team will win games. But to me, those 3 people are the most important players going into the second half because they have done such a great job so far. Can they continue to do it and continue to close out games and win games for you? That will be a testament to how good this team is.
I'll throw in another one, too. What about Newt? Like, hey, dude, you've missed a lot of time. And it's not like Tommy Edman, who had off-season surgery and now he's just coming back. That's a lot of time, too. But Newt has been expected to be a regular in the outfield, start on the outfield, contributor, whether you're leadoff guy or hitting second or hitting sixth, and he just hasn't been available. I don't think it's too much for the Cardinals to expect that this guy stays healthy and he's ultra productive in the second half.
I like Newt. That's a good one. I'm going to go with an obvious one here. Contreras. He has to continue doing what he's doing. Because of the lack of power from Arenado and Goldschmidt, you can't have a dip from Wilson Contreras. He has got to continue doing what he has been doing all season long, or you are in trouble. And Carey, to your point, you got the big three, but that only matters if you're winning games.
That's what I said. If you can get to him.
That's why I'm saying Contreras and these guys, Newt and other guys are important because you got to get to those guys.
Yeah, if you can get to them, because last year it was stressful watching late innings, knowing that we're gonna lose it. They'll find a way. You just knew it was gonna happen.
All right, I think we named most of the roster, so we did pretty good there. What if we did this though? We can only pick one. All right, we go each position. Starting pitching, most important.
I said mine, Miles Michaelis. Yeah. He has to bounce back.
Marsh.
I agree. It has to be Miles Michaelis.
All right, Miles. A couple from Miles Michaelis. All right,
go Kyle Gibson.
Gibby. Why is that?
Because I just think if you're going to have Sonny as your one, you're confident that you need a solidified number two. I mean, if you get in the playoffs and you're up 2-0, guys, what can go wrong, right? Huh?
A lot.
Okay.
That's quite a bit, actually. Depends who you're playing.
A lot.
All right. Well, it's a wild card. You only need to win 2. There you go.
I think the most important starting pitcher is not currently on the Cardinals roster.
Oh, Anthony.
Good luck.
So you're saying he doesn't. So, okay.
It's Steven Matz.
Yeah.
No, technically, I think he's still on the roster.
He's not active, though.
Yeah, he's injured.
Look, it's not Steven Matz. You heard my opinion on Matz yesterday, okay?
All righty.
And what he wants and needs. All right?
He's quite happy right now.
Yeah, exactly. I think if you don't upgrade, not only from Lynn, but potentially Miles Michaelis, you could be in some trouble chasing down the Brewers. So I'll say the most important Cardinal isn't actually current on the roster. It's the starting pitcher you get at the deadline. And if you don't get him at the deadline, then clearly this team's not trying to win. Bullpen. Who's the most important Cardinal reliever?
Oh, okay. I think it's Kittredge.
Really?
He's always the guy that seems to get the crap sandwich, and he's got to work you through the crap sandwich. I think he's the straw that stirs the drink. I think Helsley's the whipped cream on top of the coffee.
Yeah, that's what makes the drink.
But I think Kittredge does a lot of the heavy lifting.
I
don't want my drink without the whipped cream. Yeah, I send that right back. Hey, you know what I want.
I thought you were lactose intolerant.
I am. That's what makes it so bad.
I think it's Ryan Fernandez.
Oh,
you do, huh?
Yeah, big 3. Ryan Fernandez is the secret weapon, in my opinion. He is the little design on your coffee.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a little extra for you.
All right.
Okay.
Makes it look good.
Sure.
Your turn, Anthony.
I'll go with Matthew Liberatore, who is the handle so that you don't burn yourself.
Nice.
Yeah. It's a handle.
All right.
What else did I have?
You did there.
What else did I have?
Oh, you're good.
He's the sleeve.
There you go.
So you don't get burned.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that one.
I mean, you can't even sip the coffee without the sleeve. You can't get to this 7th, 8th, or 9th sometimes without your guy.
Yeah, have that sleeve. So
Matty Liberatore doing his
when
thing.
things get hot, you need
that sleeve can save you.
That's
you
right.
need Matthew Liberatore to come in.
Yeah. Infield. Most important.
I'm going to say Nolan Gorman.
You just changed it. You don't consider Wilson Contreras in the infield. I forgot.
I mean, are we doing that? Is Contreras? Then it's Contreras.
Okay.
Fine, Carey, have it your way.
I'll say Goldschmidt.
No, it's fine. Carey, go ahead. You pick your guy.
I'll say Goldschmidt. So if he's going to stay 4th, then you got to do better offensively.
I was listening to BK and Ferrari earlier, and I like the lineup. I actually thought about this as well. I like the lineup where you have Mason Wynn, Brendan Donovan, and maybe Contreras and Burley hitting in the 4-hole.
Ooh, I don't know. I'd
I'm
move Contreras to the 4-hole before I would
Switch
So
those.
what's your top four?
Wynn, Donovan, Burley, or Contreras. 3 and 4.
I'd
And then you can
flip-flop
put-
Donovan and Burley. I'd go Wynn, Burley, Donovan, Contreras.
Wynn,
Donovan batting third.
Burley,
Got some contrast
Yeah.
there.
I would Burley going, tomato. Potato skin or whatever.
Yeah.
Potato.
Way to stay on theme. I would acquire Brent Rooker, put him fourth, and have Wilson Contreras third.
Anthony's all about the player to be named later.
Right.
I'm trying to improve the club. You got to get to 93 wins somehow. Marsh?
Since Jamie can't pick him, Nolan Gorman. Nolan Gorman for me. I think he is a guy that can ultimately win you a game. He can win you a game with his bat. If he's swinging the bat really well, he can be a huge difference maker, especially if he's batting late in the lineup. It lengthens your lineup, and I think with one swing, that guy can change the outlook of a game.
Very true. Outfield, I already said Newt.
For me,
I'm going to say Burley. You need him to continue doing what he's doing. It's just like my Contreras argument.
Fair.
If Burley stops hitting the ball the way he is,
You'd be screwed.
forget about it.
definitely thought you were going to say something else.
I totally did too. I actually was starting to lean to the dump button.
You have no faith in me, guys?
We know you
No,
well
we
enough.
totally have faith in you. Just, hey, trust but verify.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
You know?
Michael Ciani. Keep playing great defense. And if he can find a way to hit the ball a little bit more, that adds value to what you already have.
It's got to be Burleson.
Oh, you say that all
He's a
smug.
DH.
He just says it all smug now.
He's the DH.
Let's go. Of course, it's Burleson. Anybody
It's
says
gotta be
anything
Burleson.
differently, he's just an idiot. Go ahead, say it.
Who do you want me to say?
Say
Dylan
it, Marsh.
Carlson?
He's not.
Dylan Carlson. There you go. You happy?
Jordan Walker,
Tommy
player to be named later.
Dylan Carlson might be part of a deal to get you Brent Rooker. See? Nice job
He
there,
could
kid.
be the most important Cardinal.
Never know. Should the Blues let Jordan Kyrou be himself, figure out the rest during the retool? That's next on 101 ESPN.
Hey, it's Carey, and if you're tired of paying those high utility bills every month because your home AC keeps running because it's so hot outside, trying to keep your home cool, then you need to know about my good friends over at Window Nation. That AC is probably running and that air is leaking out because your windows could be builder grade or over 8 years old. The seals are likely broken, which is causing the air to leak out, and you're paying the price in high utility bills all year long. Window Nation's high quality windows are built to last a lifetime. Right now, for every 2 windows you buy, you'll get 2 windows free. There is no limit to how much you could save. Plus, you could save even more with 0 down, 0 interest, and no payments for 24 months. Window Nation's windows come with a lifetime warranty, and they can be installed in 1 day or less. They even recently were ranked highest on Forbes' list of best window installation companies, so you can trust that Window Nation has high-quality, affordable windows. Stop paying more than you have to. Schedule a fast in-home estimate right now. No obligation. It's 866-90-NATION, or visit them online at windownation.com. That's 2 free windows with every 2 you buy. 0 down, 0 interest, or payments for 24 months. 866-90-NATION, or go online at windownation.com.
Jamie, you are, among other things, a coach. You're a hockey coach.
Yeah.
Jordan Kyrou. While every player has to play for the team, and every player has a role on the team, and that should be unquestioned. Like, you can't just be rogue and do your own thing, and hey, you're, whatever. You're not Connor McJesus, who has a role on his team, too. Would you, as a coach, Jamie, would you let Jordan Kyrou just be himself the way that, kind of maximize his strengths and start to cover up some of his weaknesses, as opposed to trying to get him to be the all-around player that he might not be?
Define cover up his weaknesses. Like, what do you mean by that?
Put him on a line where...
So have other players cover up his weaknesses?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, on that.
Okay.
No, on that.
When would you trade Jordan Kyrou?
No, we're not there yet.
Okay. I would have done it a year ago.
Okay.
The reason that I don't want his teammates covering up the holes in the boat for him is because you end up not liking your teammates then.
Fair.
Because they're doing all the heavy lifting. Let's just say, in a hypothetical world, he's on a line with Braden Shan and Jake Neighbors, two very reliable players. Well, it's going to be at the expense of their offensive abilities that they'll have to play stronger defense to make up for a player that's just going out there and emptying the tanks offensively.
Makes sense.
And then when Kyrou has a game of 2 or 3 goals, looking like the hero, and those guys are beat to hell because they've been blocking shots and back checking and playing physical, it's not always rosy.
Then you get physical with him.
Well, no, I don't think that would happen, but I think there would be discussions with the coaching staff at that point. But hey, man, I'm not going to last 35 games playing this way. And Buddy there, he doesn't even know what the goalie's name is in our end.
Right.
He met Jordan Binnington last year, hasn't seen him since.
Yeah.
So I don't think you can do that. I'm being funny at the same time with this.
Sure.
But I do think there's realistic expectations that you can put on said player. It doesn't have to be, hey, by the way, next year you're Ryan O'Reilly or you're Patrice Bergeron, where you're going to put up 100 points, but you're also going to be the best defensive forward. Guys, I'm going to break the news to you. He's never going to be that player. I know. It's tough to handle. Process it. Okay? Jordan Kyrou will never be Patrice Bergeron. Not a lot of players were, by the way. But it doesn't mean you can't hold him more accountable to playing a more sound defensive game or more responsible game. A lot of times with these offensive players, it's not like the defense traditionally that you think of, like, oh, he's got to get in and poke check the puck or play physical or get back and block shots. No, for me, quite honestly, the biggest thing that he can change or improve on is puck management. And a lot of offensive players, they're so gifted at a young age and they're so gifted even at the top level in the NHL that they always feel like they can deke somebody out.
Yeah.
I can dance this guy. I can dance this guy. But then what happens is there's a turnover. When you can't dance the guy and you've put yourself in a compromised position and the other team now has possession of the puck and they're going 5-on-4 back the other way and you're the last guy back up the ice back to your defensive zone. Not because you're lazy, but you made a play, you went all in on a play, and you were wrong.
Yeah.
So for me, I think if Jordan Kyrou manages the puck better, that's the first thing. Just put the puck to an area that makes you successful. If it is skating wide around the defenseman and trying to create offense, let's go, baby. You better drop the hammer, though, and really drive to that net. Or maybe the best play is chip it behind the defenseman and then out skate him to the puck, retrieve the puck again. Or maybe there's no play to be had at all. You're being closed out defensively and you just put the puck into the corner or down behind the net so that there's no danger of it. Right there, those 3 scenarios I just presented to you would save a lot of problems for Jordan Kyrou.
Is there any way, as a teammate, you can get a player like Jordan Kyrou, who has as much skill and as much talent as he has, to understand the value of, giving great effort and back checking, or hell, hitting somebody every now and then? Like, how much when you see teammates?
Be his game.
No, not all the time.
I'm just telling you.
But
don't hold your breath.
But is there a way to get a player to understand the value of that and how much, because you know this, when you see a teammate do something that is out of character, whether it's, somebody scoring, they actually dance or smile, and you're like, oh, look at that. The entire team loses it because that is something that's not who they are. Yeah. And when you're in film, that's something where the coach rewind. Look at him. They're making the play that or doing something that is a lot
of fun for everybody.
It's fun. Yeah. So, is there a way to get that teammate to understand the importance of being that teammate?
I think subtly, because you know yourself. You're in the locker room, and you're established in the league now, and all of a sudden you got another teammate that's in your ear every other play. How long is that going to last before you tell him to go blank himself?
Correct.
You know what I mean? Even though that teammate has good intentions, you don't always want to hear it from your peers.
Right.
And then you're like, okay, how many goals do you have? What power play do you play on? Oh, you didn't play last game. Oh, yeah. How about you sit down?
Some people usually get choked out, though.
But it doesn't matter, Carey. Even if you choke them out, especially in today's day and age, let's say somebody steps up, chokes them out. That ain't helping the team. It's just not. And so I think that players can talk and rally with things. Or for me, as a player, the best way to do it for guys who have a high-end talent that can be difference makers, and you want to plant the seed, positive reinforcement works better than the kick in the you-know-what.
Yeah.
Because you just say, hey, I would wait for a situation where Jordan Kyrou makes a very smart puck decision. Get back to the bench. That's a great play, man. Yeah. That was a really good play. Yeah. You had nothing going there. You made the right play. Get the puck in deep. We got a line change, got some fresh legs, or we retrieved the puck. We got it back.
Right.
That was a good play. So now Kyrou's like, hey, I like this Rivers guy. Yeah. He's a pretty nice guy, yeah. All I had to do is put the puck in the corner like that. Rather than, hey, dude, what are you doing?
Well, no, that's what I like, the positive reinforcement. Like getting a guy to say, hey, we need that from you. Like we can, how much better we can be if we get just this much more from you.
So here's where I go with it, and Anthony, you've heard me talk about this before, and this is a strategy that I've used with several professional players, is I turn it back on them. I make them the coach. So if I'm part of the coaching staff, at the very first session that we have, we go over video, and I'll find 5 positives, 5 negatives from that player in any said game during the season. And I will coach them through the video session that day. Then the next week, when we sit down again, we're going to do 4 or 5 clips again, positive and negative. And I'm only going to describe 3 of them. And the player's going to take 2 of those, and he's going to tell me what he did right and what he did wrong. 3 weeks into this, you have the player handling the entire meeting. 4 weeks in, the player is going through the video clips and finding the ones that are positive and finding the ones that are negative.
Right.
What's happened here now, Carey, is the player has become his own coach.
Taking ownership.
And when the player becomes his own coach, as you're playing the game, you know what's right and what's wrong. How do I know this? Because if I had the body and the ability to do it, I would be a much better player today than when I was actually a player.
Right.
Because I coach it. And I watch the film, and I know what's right, and I know what's wrong. So I try to put those values and that strategy into the players that I coach, so that when they get back onto the ice, they're coaching themselves. When they watch the video after the game, instead of just staring at a screen that has a bunch of guys playing hockey, they're seeing their mistakes. They're seeing what they did right. So anytime you can make the player become the coach, you've won part of the battle.
Yeah.
And at that point, I think when you'd see Jordan Kyrou start to be a more well-rounded player, then he's never going to be the Ryan O'Reillys of the world. So if you can move the needle just incrementally from one area to the other, just increase his awareness just a little bit more, you're winning. Because that's a point-of-game player. It's potentially a 90-point player in the NHL. And if that's the case, then you couple that with some just smart decisions. So you have to be strong defense. Just smart decisions. Now you're winning. Now you have a winning hockey player. So for me, that's always the strategy. Turn the player into the coach and let him learn that way.
That's Jamie Rivers, Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. We've got the biggest question of the day next.
Hey, it's Carey, and I want to tell you about my good friends over at Scrap Mart Metals. If you're a contractor or you own a business that needs recycling, well, you need to learn about Scrap Mart Metals. They are tailor-made for your business to meet your schedule and your budget. They understand that job site cleanup for contractors is a mess, but if you set up a business account with Scrap Mart to recycle that metal, it'll be one less thing you'd have to do during cleanup. If you have that heavy equipment, it breaks down over and over again. It's frustrating as can be. Eventually, it's going to break down for good, and you're going to have to end your suffering. Scrap Mart will come get it out of your way. They'll haul your equipment to one of the locations and get you a check the same day. If you are a do-it-yourselfer, you want to do it yourself, you want to haul it away yourself, they have 3 convenient locations, Valley Park, Peevely, and Jonesburg. If it's metal, they buy it. Copper, wire, brass, stainless steel, aluminum, batteries, electric motors, steel, cast iron, and much more. It is recycling made easy. They have a convenient drive-on scale and will offer you the highest payout for your scrap metals. You will always get top dollar. Just visit them at scrapmartmetals.com. My guy Lucas can talk to you about setting up a business account to get you rolling. That's scrapmartmetals.com, and tell them Carey sent you.
.101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. We've been talking about your St. Louis Cardinals all day long, and they are back in action tomorrow taking on the Atlanta Braves, who are second in the NL East. They hold that first wild card spot. The second spot belongs to the Cardinals, who have a 50-46 record. Sonny Gray will take the mound tomorrow against the Braves. First pitch is at 6:20. If you've missed anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. Just head to the podcast page. You'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. We have our biggest question of the day coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center Update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
It's time for the Fast Lane's biggest question of the day.
All right, time for the biggest question of the day. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter, Andrew Marsh.
Anthony, it looks like the Cardinals have set their rotation for the following few days.
What do we got, Marsh? And where does what slot does Garrett Crochet pitch in?
Well,
right?
Anthony's not on the team just yet, of course. However, this is the post-break rotation. So Friday we have Sonny Gray. Saturday, who do you think we have?
Kyle Gibson.
Kyle Gibson, that is correct. Sunday, Miles Michaelis. Yep, you got it, Anthony.
Thank you.
Are the Cardinals telling us something about their rotation? Jamie, your thoughts?
Yeah, to me, it tells me everything I need to know right now of how they view this five-man rotation. You're coming out of the All-Star break. Every guy is rested, ready to go. So it's almost like the beginning of the season again, or the beginning of, playoffs. Mm-hmm. And if the Cardinals don't get a starter at the deadline, if they don't, this is the three guys you're rolling out. And it's going to be Sonny Gray, Kyle Gibson, and then Miles Michaelis, which brings me back to Miles Michaelis earlier when I said one of the most important guys is Miles Michaelis, because when the season started, it was Sonny Gray, Miles Michaelis, Lance Lynn. Mm-hmm. Then we went to Steven Matz and then Kyle Gibson. Steven Matz is a non-factor right now. Who knows what he will ultimately be at all for the Cardinals this year. So let's just pretend like that he's not coming back, just for the heck of it. Miles Michaelis was supposed to be your number two guy, but he's not. Kyle Gibson, clearly the team has more confidence in Kyle Gibson right now than Miles Michaelis. And I don't know if that's a great thing. I don't know. I like Gibby. I feel comfortable when he's on the bump, but Miles Michaelis was supposed to be your guy. So I think the Cardinals are telling us and telling their rotation that this is how they view the 1-2-3 punch, just like that.
Yeah, same thing. I mean, they're telling you how they want to set up their rotation going forward and kind of the expectation of who is where and what's what. I think, obviously Sonny Gray is your number one, and Kyle Gibson has performed well enough to be the number two. Lance Lynn and Miles Michaelis, I mean, they're wrestling, I think, for that number three spot, but you probably go with Miles Michaelis as they have right now, and we'll see. Maybe things change if and when they do make the playoffs. Maybe there is an addition via trade and there's another pitcher in there, or maybe, a couple of guys perform a little bit better and it does shuffle around just a little bit. So I think it's all wait and see at this point.
What do you think?
What do you guys feel? I think that's the question.
I feel the same way right now.
No. I agree with the order and all that.
Okay.
I'm asking you, how do you feel that that's the three?
Not great.
Okay, there we go.
Not great.
That's how I feel.
It all comes down to Miles Michaelis for me. Like Kyle Gibson, I don't feel great about that either. Let's just be honest here for a second. Kyle Gibson was brought in to be a 4 or 5 and solidify your rotation, be a great veteran. Now he's your number 2. Yeah. And your number 2 now is your number 3. Barely, probably, barely.
Well, by default.
But
let's be real.
But if he has a couple of games like he's had here recently, and Lance Lynn has a couple of good games, all of a sudden that could change too.
True. That is where I'm kind of going with this, where it's like, I agree. This is how it should align in the second half, based on performances, based on how you want Sonny Gray obviously to get the most starts in the second half. If you're asking the same question of, okay, who would I want to receive the next most starts? Kyle Gibson. And then it's like, Mo, can you get us something? Because this 3 is a big old fast lane fine.
This is
Sonny Gray. Let me restate. Sonny Gray's been great. Kyle Gibson has been much better than expected. Then the rest has been the fast lane fine.
I took it as you meant the number 3 and on was.
Yeah.
This is what I said earlier, though. Like when I asked, are you guys excited about this?
The answer
if
is
there are
no.
no additions, I don't know. I mean, maybe they can make a push.
Well, that's cute.
Thank you, Mo. If there are no additions, maybe they can. Maybe they play, maybe they perform and pitch better after the All-Star break. We'll see. I don't know. I do believe, this is what I do know about professional athletes and guys like Kyle Gibson, Miles Michaelis, Lance Lynn. They are competitors. They know that their performance, Miles and Lance, hasn't been to the level that they want it to be for this team to have success. So I do believe that they're going to work their butt off to make sure that they do pitch and perform to the best of their ability to give this team a chance to win. If it hasn't been good enough in their eyes, which I would assume that they think that they can pitch better, they're going to give you everything they got. Now, the question is it going to be enough? But it's not going to be from lack of trying. So we'll see.
Hey, you can join Jamie Rivers tonight.
Just moments.
In moments. At Helen Fitzgerald's. In South County. Hang with Jamie Rivers, 101 ESPN, and Stella Artois this Thursday, tonight, from 6 to 8 p.m. at Helen Fitzgerald's out in South County. Stella Artois is partnering with Hot Ones to bring hot wings and hot trivia questions to St. Louis. If you want to sign up to play in the trivia, visit Helen's to find out how to register to participate and compete in the competition, or just come out, hang with Jamie.
Yeah.
Take part in the festivities tonight and enjoy some free Stella sampling and your chance at attendance prizes. It's tonight from 6 to 8 with our guy Jamie Rivers at Helen Fitzgerald's, and you can get more info at 101ESPN.com. But you got a trivia tonight too.
Yes, it's trivia.
Hot wings.
Hot wings. You get the questions wrong. You have to dip your wings in the hot sauce, and it gets worse as the game goes on.
And Jamie yells at you. It's fun.
Yeah. I don't touch the hot sauce. I mean, no. And just remember, don't touch your eyes or your face
good call.
with the hot sauce.
Yeah. All right. So Jamie, in fact, has got to go right now.
Got to drop a ninja bomb right now.
There you go. All right. We'll see you, buddy.
See you, buddy.
Good stuff. Jamie's off tomorrow, too, so we won't see him until Monday. We'll miss you, buddy.
I miss you guys, too.
All right. Jamie had a hell of a closing, too, to that last segment.
Oh, yeah.
If anybody heard.
It's great.
Jamie,
thought he was turning
Jamie coughed right into the mic.
Yeah, I
You got your
cough button, and I didn't. I turned the volume down on my headset. So I didn't hear it, so I thought I did the right thing.
It took my brain a second, too, because I'm like, wait, I'm not supposed to hear that.
Yeah. And I was like, blah, 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 blah. Then I looked at you guys, I was like, I hit the wrong button.
Yeah. Got the biggest question
Sorry,
of the day.
guys. Sorry, listeners.
Go ahead, play it again. Got the biggest question of the day next.
What a donkey.
That's phenomenal.
All right, boys, have a good one.
All right, we'll see you. We will not do Bet the Board because there is
no games?
Nothing.
Nothing to do?
Nothing.
I was
Instead, we're going to do 2 picks tomorrow.
Okay.
All right, so we don't miss a day. We're going to do 2 picks tomorrow for Bet the Board. Tonight is like NBA G League, and that's it. There's no MLS. There's no WNBA. I mean, I'm sure there's like a random badminton.
I was looking at tennis and darts.
Yeah, no.
No. You're not into darts?
No.
Yeah.
Don't like throwing them? Don't like smoking them?
I like throwing darts.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed throwing darts in college.
Well, people smoke darts. Different. I mean, it's not the kind you throw, but I mean, you could throw them.
I mean,
I see people throw them on the ground all the time when I'm driving.
Yeah,
throw
don't
them
do
away.
that.
Don't do that.
Yeah. There was a bar called the Blackstone in Mount Pleasant, which I used to love to frequent after work. I used to write for the local paper up there. Then my buddy and I, who also worked at the paper, used to go to the Blackstone, throw some darts, have some beer, and the beers were in like these popcorn, like plastic cups. Awesome.
Yeah.
Do you like the normal dartboard? Or do you like the what is it? The other dartboard.
I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I just like the traditional.
Not the mechanical. Well, it's not mechanical. It's like the
mechanical bull.
Like you mean like the fake where it sticks in there?
Where it sticks in there.
Like the electronic one.
Yeah, the electronic one.
Gotcha.
Sorry,
Okay. Electronic one as opposed to like the felt one. Yeah. I like the felt. Yeah,
I do
absolutely.
Too.
What's the game that you play? That I know there's tons of games you can play in dart, but like the main one where Eventually, you got to hit a bullseye. We used to play that all the time.
I have no
forget what it was called. Cricket, maybe it was called.
Cricket? Couldn't tell you the name.
I think it was called cricket. I don't know.
I think that's a different game with a ball and a bat.
That is, but
it's not what you're talking about.
Not what I'm talking about. Okay. Yeah. Okay. We got 3 stars of the day. We got criticisms and compliments, and we've got a little fast lane derby update for you. That's next on 101 ESPN. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh and Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. Jamie Rivers heading to Helen Fitzgerald's for the event tonight, the Hot Ones event. So if you're heading out there, great. You'll see Jamie tonight. Should be great. If you miss anything from today's show, you can always download the podcast available at 101ESPN.com or on your 101 ESPN mobile app. It's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. No bet the board tonight. Carey, we caught Carey looking up like darts and things like that, and
trying to find
like, you know what, we'll do 2 picks tomorrow.
Anything.
By the way, Brandon from the Snake Pit also helped me out. The game was called 501. The dart game that I couldn't think of was called 501.
Never.
I forget the actual like details of how you play, but that's the game we always played. So shout out to Brandon from the Snake Pit for that one. Marsh, do you want to do some criticisms and compliments before we get into like the home run derby stuff?
Yes, from the 417, compliment to me. I fired in some good questions, provided some great commentary, just a great performance. You're welcome.
Nice job, Marsh.
No,
man.
No, this is from the
complimenting
417.
himself or herself.
Oh, nice job. Yeah, nice job, texter, listener.
Criticism from the 417.
No.
Not about the 417, about us.
Oh.
2 hot takes for Major League Baseball's second half involve the Cardinals doing terribly. Step it up, boys. Be optimistic.
Well, okay, that's on you. You went negative because Jamie and I went positive. So you chose to focus on the negative.
Who went negative?
Marsh and Carey went negative. Half of us went negative.
Did we?
Half of us went positive.
Okay, here's my bold prediction. The Cardinals win the World Series.
And technically, Marsh went kind of negative.
I said they made the playoffs.
I know, but you had the Brewers. You had the Brewers win the division and get past the Dodgers. So you had the Cardinals going to L.A. Like,
I can't help what the Brewers do.
LA.
LA does?
I got them going to LA.
Yeah, but to golf, that's different.
Oh.
That's different. Jamie and I were very positive. I said they win 93 games.
What do they do in the playoffs? You left that part out.
I said they win 93 games.
You believe that?
I wouldn't say it if I didn't believe it.
It was a bold prediction. Doesn't mean it's what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's a bold prediction.
Great show today, fellas. Looking forward to seeing you all again next weekend when y'all take it to the Riz Show.
Yeah, so
break a leg or don't.
No, Dylan.
Yeah, we don't.
That is from Dylan.
Nice. That's funny, Dylan. Nice job. We hope to see you out there because we will be participating again in the Home Run Derby. We're going to be squaring off with those scumbags from the Rizzuto Show from 105.7 The Point at this year's softball Home Run Derby. It's hosted again by the O'Fallon Hoots. It's next Saturday, July 27th, at Carshield Field in O'Fallon, Missouri. There's going to be that fast pitch home run derby that they've held the last couple of years. Last year included Mike Matheny. This year you got Rick Ankiel again and Brian Jordan and some other MLB alum. The tickets are now on sale for just $15. Brought to you by Swiss Air Heating and Cooling, Faster House, and Zwickau Light. And you can get all the details on this year's O'Fallon Hoots Home Run Derby at 101ESPN.com. But it's going to be a great event. You can bring the kids, you got kids out and bringing the kids out. Should be a lot of fun. They have like the college all-stars also participating in the Home Run Derby, and the winner for that goes up against the former MLB alum. You've got us going against the Rizzuto Show. Carey's first time. Got a first timer here.
So we got a first timer over here.
I wonder how the O'Fallon Hoots are going to like do the derby this year. Like who faces who. The score totals. So it's about your total score, but there's always a little bit of like.
Did they pick the lineup?
Yeah.
Okay.
They have the last couple of years.
I'll probably go first again.
Did you go first? That first?
Yeah.
Who'd you go against?
No, I went up against King Scott.
Oh.
Okay.
Producers against producers.
Gotcha. Okay. Last year, I think it was Learn and Brooke went first.
Oh, maybe that's the case then.
And then it was maybe Jamie and King Scott?
I wasn't there.
Or no, Jamie went up against Rafe, I think, last year. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. I do need to get to the batting cage. Give me a few swings in.
Yep.
Test out the elbow because, I got to make sure that I, follow through.
Well, do what you got to do, Carey. But
I'm right.
You get your ass in shape for next week.
All right.
I don't care what you have to take.
All right.
I don't care what you have to stretch.
All right.
Just do it.
Just do
Let's go.
Do it. I'll be ready.
Don't swing too hard, though. I know that was your philosophy.
You swing hard, you hit hard, Marshy.
Yeah, but you don't want to overswing.
Well, yeah.
Because it looks like a watermelon up there. But when you overswing, you end up missing it.
You don't swing hard, you can't hit it.
So Brandon, I just gave you a shout out for the 501. He goes, I heard a rumor that Stalter was asked if he wanted to participate in the fast pitch home run derby. He said, no, thank you. I probably won't hit one in the slow pitch. Wow. Whew. Nobody's safe in the fast lane, including me. So, you know.
That's a different Brandon, by the way. That's not your Brandon.
No. Yeah, that's not my buddy,
That's
Brandon.
my Brandon.
That's your Brandon.
He's the reason why I grew this beard out. He said I couldn't grow a beard. Or I couldn't grow a Raleigh Fingers mustache. So I'm in the process of it right now.
It's looking good, man.
It's got a little curl to it.
I believe in you.
Got a little curl.
I believe in you.
But I appreciate it, Brandon, because I think it's turning out pretty good.
Looks good.
Good for you.
Yeah.
All right. So do we
Just
have
need the push?
Do we have some 3 stars here?
Oh, absolutely.
Any more criticisms and compliments? I just handed one out from Brandon.
Well, we do have a question.
Oh, he goes, I'll be wearing my Riz Show beanie.
Wow.
Brandon.
Respect.
Some nerve.
Cool.
We have a few questions about the home run derby from the 636. What time does it all start?
That's a great question. That's a great question.
I believe it's 7.
Is it 7 o'clock?
I think so.
Well, don't they have I think they have an autograph session too, a little bit early.
Yes.
So I don't want to have people miss out on that, but we'll go with 7 for now.
And we have another question while you look that up.
Yeah, right.
From the 618, do you guys have a good home run derby bat?
We do. We have, and actually and I'll get the company here if I can find it quickly, but there was a company that supplied us with a bat, brand new, and before anybody starts crying foul, the Riz Show got the same bat. So it's the same bat, same company, same wrapping, all that.
Different design, though, if I'm not mistaken, right?
No, they're both. We've got the axe handle.
Oh, okay. I was talking about the waffle cone.
No, they've got a waffle cone too, I
Gotcha.
believe. Yeah. So at least we got everything's fair on that side. But yeah, we do have a bat, which we'll be breaking out.
You got that start time?
No.
Third star of the day.
Gator says, I have a bet against Brandon that y'all are going to win. Staltz at 101 ESPN. Let's effing go, fast lane.
Nice.
Gator, we're not going to disappoint you, man.
I like it.
Go ahead, sorry.
Third star of the day goes to Matthew Tkachuk for what he did today
Very
in
nice.
his day with the Cup.
Yeah.
Dude's
to the
awesome.
Children's Hospital.
Went to the right.
Went back to his old high school. A few other stops.
It's phenomenal, man.
Yeah.
I love what Jamie shared with us about how, and we have enough. It is at 7 o'clock, by the way. It is great to get to know the Tkachuks over the years. We had everybody on during COVID. They were gracious enough to chat with us, and man, the family is incredible.
Second star of the day goes out to Bonita Fish.
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely. Yep.
First star of the day goes to Tater Tots.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Right, Carey?
Yeah.
I feel like you and I are on the same side with the old tots.
We were, but then we
we
added curly fries from Rally's or Hardee's.
Also good.
Yeah.
I guess I had my own beef. I stood loyal to the tot.
Yeah, you did.
I had to fight Jamie with the stupid potato skins. And then, unfortunately, I also had to take on you guys in the old curly fry debate. But I feel good about my decision. For Jamie Rivers, for Andrew Marsh, for Carey Davis, I'm Anthony Stalter. Instant replay next. See you.